And good evening, hockey fans, and what is going on? Alongside my good buddy and one of the co-hosts of the Orange and Back Check podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network, which covers the Philadelphia Flyers. My name is Neil Villapiano, the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network, which covers the New Jersey Devils. We welcome you to a very exciting Stanley Cup Finals edition of Live Watch Along right here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Tonight is Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers. The Golden Knights with two pretty decisive victories in Games 1 and 2 in Sin City, but now the series shifts to Sunrise, and we'll see if the Florida Panthers can get back in this one before things get out of hand. And Bill, first and foremost, it is great to finally interact with you and obviously get to meet you. How are you doing this evening?
Dude, I'm doing awesome. This is I'm jacked up. I want to see how Florida responds after now going down. Bobrovsky getting absolutely shelled in the last game in the game 2. So they got to be thankful that they're back in Florida. That's all I got to say. Like they're not sticking in Sin City or Vegas, and they're back home in Florida. So timing is right, and we'll see how they respond.
The timing is certainly right, and the other host of the Backcheck podcast, Scott, will join us in just a little bit. So it'll be 3 of us here for this one tonight. And always, guys, don't forget to leave your score predictions in the chat. We already have 3 going for us right now. Sebastian Soffin's going 3-1 Golden Knights. Andrew H., good to see you, my friend. He's going 5-1. So another blowout. And then Jacob, who obviously is our big-time Golden Knights fan, also going with a decisive win for the Golden Knights. He's going 6-2. So a lot of guys are picking Vegas to go up 3-0. I guess it's fair to say, Bill, based off of how the first 2 games went, that I can see why people would want to roll the dice with Vegas, unless you're our good buddy Dylan, who's going 3-2 Florida tonight.
Yeah, I think this is just one of those. People think that the Cinderella story is over for Florida. I mean, you beat a team like Boston, you advance to the Stanley Cup Final, and at one point, the chariot turns into a pumpkin, right? So I think that's what's happening. Bobrovsky finally looks a little bit shaky, despite how good he has been playing this entire playoffs. And saying he's been playing good is an understatement. He's been playing out of his skull at this point. So I think people just think that they're completely out of it, and I think it's way too early. We were talking in the pre-live chat. We want to see this game go 6 or 7 at least, and I still think there's a good chance that this is going to happen. It's just a matter of, again, how does Florida respond? Because they did not look good in game 2. They completely gave up on themselves, and
And Florida in general has not looked good through the first 2 games. I mean, the first 2 periods of game 1, they were right in the game. And then the third period, the Golden Knights took over. Jacob points out, Panthers have been outscored 12-4 so far through the first 2 games. Sergei Bobrovsky has, unfortunately, at this point, kind of gone back to where he was the last couple of years, where he just wasn't really making a lot of saves and obviously not living up to that contract. And so it'll be interesting to see who the Florida Panthers decide to go with in net for game number 3 as they try to get back in this series here starting tonight. What's going on, Joey? Good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Do us a favor, drop a like on this stream if you like what you see, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new live watch-alongs that we do here. We do them throughout the entire playoffs, including the Stanley Cup Finals. My wonderful mother is in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really do appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us. And so, Bill, let me ask you this. What is the biggest key let's start with the Florida Panthers going into game 3 tonight?
Yeah, I think it's just how do they respond with the puck? I think their puck movement has been slacking a little bit. I don't think they've just sharp, crisp passes to get them out of the zone, going on the rush and creating chances off of that. Get the goalie moving. Like, that's really what this is about. Vegas is a well-oiled machine. Like, there's no denying it. They are a very, very good team. And again, Florida's the Cinderella story. So to get that, they have to get back to their game and remember, like, look, they're not scared of a 2-0 deficit. They were down 3-1 against Boston. and they came back and won that thing. So just keep playing their game and work the rush.
Do you go back to Bobrovsky, or do you start Alex Lyon here tonight for Florida?
Two former Philadelphia Flyers at that too. I mean, my goodness, it's just like the
Alex
Kings
Lyon, big time Lehigh Valley Phantoms goaltender. I remember watching him back in the day.
Yeah. No, you got to ride Bobrovsky, because despite his shakiness in these first two games here in the final, he's still better than Lyon by no pun intended, by a lion's share. Like he's up there, one of the best. He's a Vezina Trophy winner. Like you ride him despite the shakiness and the peaks of hoping that or that his playoff jitters or yips have not come back, but you got to ride him. He's seasoned enough. You hope he bounces back, and I think he was.
And Jacob just said on Daily Faceoff that Sergei Bobrovsky looks like he will be in net for the for the Florida Panthers here in this one. Bill, Dylan has a question for you, and I don't know if you want to answer that now, or if you want to wait till a little bit later to answer it. But obviously, it sounds like Kinda Hot might be on his way out of the city of brotherly love.
We'll get into it more at intermission, maybe the first or second one, but. Honestly, I think he stays as a Philadelphia Flyer. I said on the podcast the day before they moved Provy that it's like a 25% chance they actually move him. I still think that is a chance. Like Danny Briere and Keith Jones have to be. I'm sorry, Daniel Briere. He now goes by Daniel Briere. I don't know if anyone knew. Yeah,
excuse me.
It's like Bobby and Bobby and Bob Clark when he was the GM. But no, right. I think Carter does eventually stay here. I think they're going to flirt with a couple of options. I would be floored, absolutely floored if they moved him at this point.
I think it was more of a shock to me hearing those rumors. Like, are they just completely gutting that Flyers team? I mean, as somebody who covers the Devils, I mean, I have no issue with it, but sure. It's kind of more like a surprise, really. I understand the rebuild process, but like gutting the entire team now is a little bit surprising.
Yeah, I think it was maybe Charlie O'Connor of The Athletic, or maybe someone at Broad Street Hockey that said something like they're a year too late on the rebuild. Like they're 1 year later when they finally had to do it. They're now doing it. I don't compare this, like if you're familiar with the Philadelphia sports scene, I don't compare this to the 2012, 2013 Philadelphia 76ers when they legitimately tore this thing down. Not even the studs. It was like the bare bones of what a sports franchise
beginning of the process.
Be. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think it's that. But then you hear reports earlier today or late last night that now Travis Konechny might be being shopped around. So,
yeah,
I like the idea of stocking draft picks, but draft picks are unknown until you make the pick and you develop the player. So I like the idea of I like that Briere and Jones are being aggressive in the new face, but you got to show the fans that you're for real. And this is going to be a long process, and it's 1 year too late from where they should have been.
It certainly is, and we'll talk about that in greater length later on as we get into the intermission reports and everything. Wizmatch asking, what do you think about Bedard going to Chicago? I mean, it is what it is. You know, it really is. I mean, speaking from, where I am, with the Devils, like, it doesn't matter to me where I was totally fine with him not being in the Eastern Conference. So, it's fine. Obviously, they go from two generational players in Taves and Kane to another once-in-a-generation player. So, you got to keep the original six with interest, I guess. That's the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love, like the conspiracy theory of it all. Like, did Bettman rig the lottery or everything? And they showed the video of after the fact. Like, obviously it's not, but of course it had to be Chicago. It's not Anaheim. I actually go the other way. I would have preferred him in the Eastern Conference, even if it was going to be, I think the best team with the chance was obviously Columbus. Yeah. So I would have liked to see him in the East Coast because there's way too many stars that are just kind of for a lack of, and Scott, my co-host, when he joins us in a few here, has said it, they're rotting. These superstars are rotting away in the West. They're not getting the publicity. The NHL is not promoting them correctly, and they're not getting the eyeballs on them that they should be getting, and that's a
Right.
real shame. And now Bedard, Chicago's a great market. It's amazing, and it's not like Edmonton where McDavid is, but it's still the West Coast, or it's
Yeah.
the Western Conference, I should say. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like I said, I would have loved to see him in the East Coast, but oh well.
Yeah, sometimes it's just it's not meant to be. Danelle actually has a quick question. He did ask this question in the last live watch along we did of Game 2. He said, "Wouldn't it be funny if both teams from South Florida / Miami, the Panthers and the Miami Heat, both lose in the finals?" Yes, the Miami Heat did lose last night in Game 3 over in downtown Miami, so now they're down 2-1, and the Florida Panthers are looking to avoid going down 3-0. But it would be to go from the high of like having the Panthers, Miami Heat, and now Lionel Messi going to Inter Miami in Major League Soccer to losing like that. It was like, they were talking about Philadelphia a couple months ago, right?
It's like the Phillies, the Philadelphia Union, and the Eagles all losing their respective championships in the 99-day or 100-day span.
Right.
Exactly like that, Danelle.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. I would be laughing more about Miami and Florida losing their respective championships more than what I just went through as a Philadelphia sports fan. But yes, I'm rooting for the Heat. I do want to see them win, but I'm actually going the other way. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I do want both Florida teams to win.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, but
kind of like a Tampa, like a Tampa thing that we had like a couple of years ago. Same type of vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
Also, Andrew B, good to see you, my friend. We still have a little bit of time here. He actually has a question that is kind of interesting. Andrew would actually like you to tell us a little bit about yourself, because this is kind of like one of the first times that people are getting a chance to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. So as you introduced us, and you see in the Twitter handle right there, I host the Flyers podcast, Orange and Backcheck, that is associated right here with the Hockey Podcast Network. We started the podcast about 3 years ago. I do it with my buddy Scott, who's going to be joining us in a few minutes. He's being a dad right now. He has two little ones. He's putting them to bed because it's 8 o'clock at night. So
got Dan Marino, by the way, banging the drum in Florida to get the crowd going. By the way,
I like that. That's a good move. That's
also Tua Tagovailoa is in the stands as well. They got all the celebs tonight.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. But Flyers podcast. Been doing it for about 3 years. I live in 45 minutes north of the city, and been doing radio and podcasting for about a decade now, and I fell in love with it, and I continue to do it every single day. It's my full-time job and my job here at the Hockey Podcast Network, so it's awesome.
I respect that, because Devil State of Mind for me is my full-time gig, and obviously I've been doing it for about 3 years now, and a lot of people obviously have seen my face over the last year with this YouTube channel. But no, it's great to get more guys on here. And we are actually just want to mention really quickly, the NHL draft is coming up in a couple of weeks, and the Hockey Podcast Network will have a live watch along extravaganza for the NHL draft. Myself and Kyle Manifold will be the hosts of that, but we will have hosts of almost all the teams that are going to be picking that'll jump on from pick to pick. It's going to be a lot of fun. When we post and everything, make sure to like, share with your friends, and let's get it going. We had so many people jump on during the draft lottery, and I would love to see us get even more here for the NHL draft coming up in a couple weeks down in Nashville. That should be a lot of fun. Bill, the players have just taken the ice, so we're about ready for the national anthem. So before we get, and Danelle, hold on to this question, because Bill and I will discuss the outdoor games that will be happening in New Jersey, involving both of the teams that we cover later on in the show tonight. But Bill, really quickly, man, what is your score prediction for tonight?
I think Florida bounces back. It's going to be a nail biter. They win 3-1 on an empty netter.
Okay, so a little bit closer of a game than what we've seen through the first two games, all right? I'm also going to rock with the Florida Panthers to get back in this series and win this game. I'm going to go with a higher score. I'm going to go 5-3 Florida Panthers tonight. I think that we're going to get some goals tonight. I think we're going to get some action. We're going to get some goal scoring, so I'm going to go with that. So, and again, guys, make sure – go ahead.
I'm going to make a live bet on our DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you sign up now, use promo code THPN. I'm going to do a live bet right now. I'm going to take the under, because I think the under is like 6 maybe.
Yeah.
So
Good
that's what
good
I'm going to take.
transition
So
into that promotion, by the way,
right
Bill. That was
before
good.
the game starts, make sure you sign up with promo code THPN on DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a lot of fun. You can
It's on the bottom right corner of your screen,
right
ladies
there.
and gentlemen. And shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook for being the official sports betting partner of the Hockey Podcast Network. So, yeah, we are right now. They're doing introductions of the starting lineups for both teams. Alec Pietrangelo and Alec Martinez on the back end to start for the Vegas Golden Knights. Then you have, I believe, William Carrier, one of the 5 remaining Golden Knights players from the 17-18 inaugural team. He's starting on that line with I think that's is that Chandler Stevenson? No, that's not Chandler Stevenson. That's that's Nicholas Waugh. My apologies. No, Stevenson has a much nicer flow, and then Kolasar as well. So I think they're going with their third line, I believe, to start, which makes sense. And then obviously Adin Hill. I read a great article, Bill. I don't know if you saw it. I read a great article from The Athletic about Adin Hill's journey from like when he was a kid to like now. This guy, like, it's one of those stories that, like, you're happy for him that he has gotten to this point of his life where he's, like, the main goal. Remember, he's, like, the 5th option in net for the Golden Knights. Like, Logan Thompson got hurt. Brossois got hurt. You know, Leonard's out. All these different guys. And they have Adin Hill, who last year was on a bottom-feeding team in the San Jose Sharks and now is 2 wins away from winning a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story, right? I mean, I haven't read that piece on The Athletic, but Adin Hill's story. I mean, he's been a journeyman for the most part for the NHL, and now he's finally settled in. As you just said, he wasn't even the first, second, or third starter or choice for this Vegas team. And he just has great, as Scott will say, you build from the back to the front, and they did a little reverse engineering where the blue line was built so well that Adin Hill was able to adapt in very, very quickly, very, very easily, and he's performing what he is now. And it's just, you got to tip your hat, despite us both saying that Florida will win tonight. Got to tip your cap to a guy like Adin Hill. I mean, nothing but applause for the guy.
Oh yeah, and I mean, this is a Vegas team that is, obviously gone through a lot of different types of crazy situations in just their short 5 years of existence. But yeah, I mean, this is still a very, very good team, very, very battle team. And so it'll be really interesting to see how they go in. Again, kind of new territory for them. Because remember, they won game 1 in 2018, lost the next 4 games, and ultimately lost the Stanley Cup Finals. So now they're in a little new territory. They've won 2. They're halfway there, and now it's about can they steal a game on the road in Sunrise and go from there. And I should also mention as well, Bill, that the Florida Panthers are now 0-6 in Stanley Cup Finals games. They got swept back in 1996, and they've lost the first 2 games here. So now, once again, another opportunity to try to get their first ever Stanley Cup Finals win. Wow, they're actually having a flyover. Which is weird. The 482nd fighter wing. That's a little weird because they're indoors.
Just a little bit.
A little weird.
It's like I think it was Texas, maybe Houston. No, I think it was Texas or maybe even Seattle. The first game of the MLB season this season, their dome was closed and they flew over with like these like B-52 stealth bombers or whatever it was. And it's like, what's the point of this, guys?
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
at MetLife where you are watching all your games or Lincoln Financial Field. But
it's different.
There they go. I'm seeing it now.
Danelle, by the way, brings up a good point. Yeah, it looks really weird with like the patch being stuck on that left side, and like because they have the ads on the right side. So yeah, it's weird. Someone mentioned it to me.
Looks cluttered. Like that's really what it
is. You know who did it pretty well? The New York Rangers back in 2014, because they had it on their shoulders, because obviously it was kind of hard to put it anywhere else. So yeah, wow, Philip Phillips, that is a name I have not heard in a long time.
Yeah,
nice. He's performing the national anthem as we speak, so we still have a little bit of time here. We wanted to jump on a little earlier to kind of interact with everybody, get everybody excited for game number 3. This is it, man. I mean, to me, it's very hard for me to see Florida coming back from down 3-0 with the way Vegas is played. Like, if they lose tonight, I think it's fair to say that this series is pretty much except officially over. So
Yeah,
obviously, I think Florida's got to jump on them early.
Yeah, I mean, the old adage is a series doesn't really start until the away team steals one on the road.
Right.
And Vegas being up 3-0 with one away road away win on under their belt, wrap this series up. But who knows? I mean, Florida might go on another run because you can't count out a team that knocked out the President's Trophy and all be the greatest regular season team in NHL history in the Boston Bruins this season. So,
and they've knocked out 3 of the top four teams in the Eastern Conference and in the NHL. So, it's not something they are not a team to sneeze at. Panthers are 0-6-1 in Vegas. So clearly they haven't had a lot of success in the Sin City. But luckily for them, they're at home. Dylan is telling us that I have the game on mute for copyright reasons. He's saying that it's a brutal national anthem. So I guess I'm glad that I don't have to worry about that. But
yeah, mine's
the national anthem just wrapped up. So we are just moments away from puck drop. A sold out, can't believe I'm saying this, sold out crowd in Sunrise as Panthers fans are ready to go. I'm sure our buddy David Rodriguez, the host of the FLA Cats podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network, he is definitely in the stands here tonight. He told me when we interviewed him on my podcast, he's got tickets to games 3, 4, and 6. So he is definitely in the crowd tonight. So shout out to David Rodriguez of the Hockey Podcast Network. He's got to be absolutely pumped up for this one, man. The Wizmaster also telling us this national anthem, he says it's good, but different. Okay. So,
I'm a fan of the strictly instrumental anthem. Like Metallica did it a couple years ago with just the guitars, like saxophone, trumpet.
I was at the Cup Final in 2016 in San Jose, and they had Metallica just play it on their instruments, and I was like, this is awesome. So Aiden Hill in net for the Golden Knights, Sergei Bobrovsky in net for the Florida Panthers. Let's see what these two teams have in store. The players are at center ice. The puck is dropped in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals is officially underway. So, Bill, right off the bat here, as William Carrier takes it into the right side with a backhand try, and I think he might have actually rang it off the post right away. What are you looking for from both teams in the early going here?
Well, I talked about how how Florida has to really capitalize on the rush. What Vegas has to do is just keep capitalizing on what you just did to Bobrovsky a game ago, 2 days ago. Push the metal, push the gas pedal all the way to the floor, and just keep peppering Bobrovsky as quickly. And you already chased him once. Go chase him again.
And I think I also saw some statistic that said that the Vegas Golden Knights have chased a opponent's netminder 5 of the last 12 games that they've played, and that is pretty remarkable here in these playoffs. How many times they've forced their opponents to change goaltenders?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how overpowering they can be. As soon as they get one, they're looking immediately for the second. They don't sit back. They don't take over or let the other team capitalize and catch them sleeping. They're not sleeping ever.
Oh, no, they are constantly relentless pressures. Now a takeaway here almost for a moment, but Theodore regains it, gets over to Stone. Just out of reach, Sam Bennett retrieves it for Florida in the offensive zone. Now taken away by Theodore again. The Golden Knights will look to settle it here. One guy that I want to keep my eye on here, Bill, not just for the fact that he has been tremendous in these playoffs, but also how much he's become public enemy number 1 for Vegas, and that is Matthew Tkachuk. You go back to Game 2, that ferocious hit he laid on Jack Eichel late in the second period. He eventually did get thrown out of the game, not because of that, but things just got out of hand towards the end. But it's really going to be interesting to see how how Matthew Tkachuk in particular responds after these rough first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just a matter of it's a good thing that they're again in Florida, and this isn't a game that's out in Vegas, because the crowd would be going absolutely nuts on him whenever he touched the puck. I think Tkachuk was just trying to find life, to pull some life out of his team, because they did not look right in the first 50 minutes of that game, 45 minutes of the game, and it fell apart on him really, really fast.
And Richard Blosser and I, we did game 2, and we both agreed that it was a pretty clean hit because Eichel was losing his balance, number one, and Tkachuk hit him with his elbow to the arm. So, to me, it was just not a. It was not a dirty hit. I mean, Eichel said it himself, as the Wizmaster points out. It was a clean hit. It looked bad, but in terms of whether it was legal or not, it was legal in NHL terms.
Yeah, no, I did not see anything. They just showed the replay of the hit on Gudas that happened in that same game.
And Gudas is playing tonight. He did not return to game 2 after that hit, but he is in the lineup tonight as Vegas trying to keep it in, but they can't. Anyway, you were pointing out, Bill.
Oh, it's just nice to see that he's back on the ice, and that's a clean hit too. I like these. This is the Stanley Cup final. It's not a Draymond Green of the golden why am I blanking on the Warriors? Golden State Warriors. Thank you. Yeah. It's not him smacking them people in the private area. This is just a good hard hit on these players. Hockey's hockey. I know the point about Eichel is he's just coming off that serious neck surgery, but we're almost a year out from that surgery, or a little bit more than a year out. So I can't really, say anything about it. I don't know.
All right. Well, at the end of the day, both Eichel and Tkachuk are obviously still playing. Like you mentioned, Radko Gudas back in the lineup. You can definitely see that Florida, they were a little bit knocked off their game when Gudas left after that hit from Ivan Barbashev. Barbashev has been really good since he got picked up by Vegas at the deadline. Jonathan Marchessault, I think right now, might be the front runner to win Conn Smythe for playoff MVP. 10 goals in his last 9 games. He added 2 goals in Game 2's win. He's had 3 so far in the Cup final. And this is against his former team, the team that left him unprotected in the expansion draft 5 years ago. It is crazy to me that he's you couldn't write a better script for him so far in these finals.
Yeah, no, this is one of those things you think about as a player, like a team that kind of spurned you. I mean, at the end of it, the lottery or the expansion draft's kind of a crapshoot in a way to how these teams are trying to protect their players, but that comes with the risk and reward of doing this, and got to give them credit.
Absolutely. As Zach Whitecloud just missed the net on the shot, Florida comes back the other way. Eric Stahl dumps it in, taken away by Whitecloud. He feeds it over to Waugh. Here come the Golden Knights the other way into the offensive zone, and Waugh actually overskates his own pass, and that's taken away by Florida. And now they'll look to come the other way, as now Mark Stahl drops it over to the left side to Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk takes a shot that gets blocked. Now it's at the left corner, now behind the Vegas net. Vegas trying to get out. It's taken away by Florida, and that shot deflected just wide by the Panthers. I believe that might have been one of the stalls up front. Montour with a shot, and he scores! Brandon Montour through a screen, and the Panthers strike first early in Game 3. It's 1-0 Florida.
Wow.
What a wrist shot. And I believe actually, Bill, it might have been Nick Cousins in front. He might have gotten a piece. I'm not sure. We'll see it again on the replay here. But, yeah, Florida gets exactly what they needed. And the early goal, it is Montour. It is definitely Montour who scored top shelf, and Aiden Hill just couldn't see it.
No, that was a perfect. The goal just happened on my screen as I'm on YouTube TV, so I'm a little delayed here. But still, that was a wicked wrister of a shot. I mean, Hill had no view of the puck whatsoever. Completely screened out, probably by Cousins, as you were just alluding to. So, yeah, I mean, just a great start for the Panthers, and exactly what you need to do to settle the team.
That comes at the 4:08 mark of this first period, and we are now joined by the other host of the Orange and Backcheck podcast. It is Scott. What is going on, Scott?
What's happening, Neil? I'm doing great. Just saw that first goal. It was a sick shot. I don't think Aiden Hill ever saw it. Went through like 4 bodies, almost bar down. It's a great way to jump in, I'll tell you that.
Really good screen, like you mentioned before, Bill. Really good screen in front from Nick Cousins on that one. And
another former Flyer.
Another former Flyer. There you go. And again, really good start if you're the Panthers. But remember, they got the first goal in Game 1 and ultimately lost. So they got to continue to push here, even still early on, as now the Panthers come the other way back in the offensive zone. Now Reinhart with the puck Carter for Hagee. Hagee loses it, taken away by Barkov, feeds it to Duclair, and that shot is fought off and saved by Adin Hill. He denied him point blank as Duclair almost was able to double the lead. Forsling takes a shot through traffic. It gets blocked by Theodore. Vegas trying to get it out. They still can't. As now Duclair gets it over to Barkov. Puck is bouncing around, goes over to the left side. Shea Theodore gets to it for Vegas, bounces off the boards and out. But oh my, Anthony Duclair almost doubling the lead for Florida.
You know, it's crazy how that was the second shot of the game for Florida. And Adin Hill, I mean, anytime you give up an early goal, it could be a backbreaker. For a goaltender, it could be a confidence killer, but that's a huge save by Adin Hill there. Absolutely.
That was a really big save, especially, with the crowd really into it. Florida's already got the lead. You don't want to go down 2 this early in the game, especially with everything going on.
Right, especially Florida.
Matthew Tkachuk got absolutely leveled in the zone, and the Florida Panther gets the stick up high, and it's going to be a penalty against the Golden Knights for high sticking. Tkachuk making his way to the bench. I'm not sure who made that hit, but oh my, Tkachuk getting rocked, and obviously that's payback. Kolasar with the hit on Tkachuk. That's got to be payback for Game 2, Tkachuk's hit on Eichel.
What a hit.
Oh.
A huge hit by Kolasar.
That was Kolasar with the hit there.
Absolutely.
But there is a penalty. There is a penalty against Vegas. It's going to be a high stick. So now the Panthers, already up 1, will now go to their first power play. So through the first couple minutes, guys, everything's going well for the Panthers.
Exactly what you expect.
Yep. You want that 10 minutes. Our first 10 minutes of any kind of switch in a series is always the big momentum piece. If the team could survive that first 10 minutes, the away team, it's much better. The fact that Vegas is down a goal already, Florida's capitalizing that momentum, almost got a second there. That hit, still got the crowd juice, but we'll see what happens on the power play. But that Panthers power play against this Vegas penalty kill, I don't know. If they come through here, that could be a really big start for them.
Huge momentum swing. As Dylan points out, he wants Florida to win the Cup, but can you imagine a Stanley Cup parade down the Strip in Las Vegas? Not even for show, but legit parade down the Strip.
Exactly.
Between that and the F1 race that's coming to Vegas later in November, I think, of this year, it's going to be very, very interesting time to be a actual resident of the city of Vegas.
Right.
Danelle, this is the other host of the Origin Backcheck podcast, Scott. So Scott and Bill, they both are on this podcast. They cover the Philadelphia Flyers, my division rival, since I cover the Devils. So there's a lot of Metro Division going on here in this one here today.
Yep.
Also, is that a turtle?
That is a turtle, Dylan. Scott has a pet
turtle.
Oh,
it's 100%. Yeah, I do have a turtle. Yes, I do have a box.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's like my age, believe it or not. Yeah, exactly. Apparently, my uncle had her for 20-something years. So, and I've had her for over 10. So, yeah, she's old as dirt.
William Carrier, by the way, got 2 minutes for high sticking. So now we'll see what Florida can do here on their first power play of the night as the ref kicks out Alexander Barkov. I hate when the refs try to make it about themselves on these face-offs. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, just drop the puck. I mean,
drop the puck. Stop trying to be cute. Just let's get it going here, right?
Yeah, the false starts and stuff. Yeah,
I know they're trying to have some control of the game. As Waugh wins that face-off cleanly, and Brady McNabb will slap shot it, or he tried to get out of the zone, and then it hits off a Vegas player and comes out. So yeah, shots are currently 3-1 in favor of Florida. That goal, by the way, was just I believe Scott pointed out, that was just the second shot of the game for Florida. So again, really good start as now the Panthers will set up with Tkachuk, gets it over to Barkov on the right corner now. Barkov gets it top of the point to Montour, now over to the left side to Bennett. Bennett back to Montour, top of the point. Slap shot through traffic, and that one is fought off by Hill. As now Barkov chips it over now to Matthew Tkachuk, now to Bennett in the left corner. Bennett back shoots it back the other way. Now to Barkov. He waits in the right faceoff dot. Gets it top of the point. Now to Montour. Montour back to Barkov. Waits. Gets it to Tkachuk. Tries to feed it in front to Reinhart. Scramble in front for a moment. McNabb now has it. He's being pinned. Gets it over to Waugh. He tries to clear it. Hits off someone. And Florida keeps it in. Bennett now around the boards to the other side over to Barkov with 54 seconds to go on the Florida power play. Barkov, that puck comes out in front, and now Wall will get to it and backhand it out of the zone.
Power play has a lot of movement. They're just not getting enough chances in front. That Vegas defense is really, really boxing them out.
Yeah, so far hasn't got a really solid shot on goals. Now Aiden Hill will actually get it, and he's able to clear it out of the zone as Vegas nearly created maybe a chance the other way. Here come the Panthers back into the zone. Tries to get it to Verhaeghe off the skate. Florida's keeping it in. Duclair gets it all the way over. It deflects off a Vegas player and into the stands. So face off back in the Vegas zone with 19 seconds to go on this Florida power play, and they're just showing here, guys, Matthew Tkachuk has gone to the locker room.
Yep. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. I probably think it's some sort of concussion. They gotta go through the protocol. I have no choice.
By the way, Danelle, to answer your question really quickly, I have the Panthers winning in 6. I don't know what the other two guys here had in terms of predictions when the series started.
I had Florida in 7.
I had Florida in 7. I think that this series is not even close to being over yet. I mean, of course, what happens tonight is a big changer, but this Florida team is just too scrappy. It just, now that they've got their bearings straight, being back home, it seems like they're getting their game 2 is a bad game for them as a whole. That they get back to that mentality like they had against Boston, they're going to be unstoppable.
As now the power play is up for Florida, so not a ton really on that one. So, like Scott mentioned before, just a really good job defensively there by the PK of the Golden Knights. So, yeah, good job there. It's still 1-0 Panthers on a goal earlier in this period from Brandon Montour. It's about 4 minutes in. Is now White tries to tuck it in from the sharp angle, but a good stick play there from Hill, as now Barbashev will just slightly chip it back in, as now the Panthers immediately come the other way. Montour into the zone, gets around a defender, backhands it, and that one goes up and out of play, as then Montour with a little slash of the stick on Theodore. So we get a stop here with 11:17 to go in the first. I believe Dylan, by the way, asked, because I don't think we asked you, Scott, yet, really quickly. What was your score prediction for tonight?
I'm thinking 4-2 Florida. I was thinking that right off the bat.
Okay.
And that's before the
So we're all going Florida.
4-2 Florida. I think this is a must win for Florida. And look, every game in the final is essentially a must win. But you come home with the momentum like this, I think Florida really responds from this and gets Vegas back on their heels a little bit.
Do you guys care to answer this question really quickly from Danelle? He says, is the rumor true that the Flyers are supposed to have a new jersey next season?
Everything we've heard, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It's not official yet, but a lot of reports say they're going back to the late 90s shade of orange and that kind of look for the team. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Like going back to more of the burnt orange from the 90s, when the Flyers and Devils had that rivalry, and, when the Flyers blew that 3-1 series against the Devils in 2000, which still haunts my memories.
That was a good time. That was a good time.
Fair for one of us.
Yeah. By the way, Matthew Tkachuk and Eric Stahl with the assists on the Brandon Montour goal, as Florida trying to put some pressure on here early on. Also, can someone explain to me, one of you guys can explain it to me, Keith Jones is going to he's the president, right, of the Flyers?
Correct.
Why is he allowed to still be a broadcaster? Is it just because, it doesn't matter?
I asked this same question on our latest episode that went out on Tuesday morning. The Flyers let him have permission, and he wanted to fulfill his obligation to the TNT and Turner Sports to figure out this contract. I said on the podcast, only in hockey would we see this. We would not see this in any other sport.
No.
Correct.
You see it in the NFL all the time. The second that guys get hired, that's it.
They're gone. Yeah.
The only time that it may change, it may be okay is in college sometimes. They'll let the guy coach one more game, whatever bowl game that they're in, and go from there. So we get a stoppage of play here. I believe there might be a call. Is Stahl and Waugh with some with some grievances. Yeah, these two teams, guys, clearly already like hate each other.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. They do 100%. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that you get with this kind of, with this kind of final. You have a really skilled team and a puck possession team like Vegas and a scrappy team like Florida that just doesn't give up. It gets heated very quickly. It gets very heated, especially because Vegas isn't really the type of team that gets into these types of scuffles. So Florida's really doing this as more of a more of the mental side of the game, but trying to really throw them off of their skill game. And it takes a lot to do it, but we've seen it happen over the course of a 7-game series in the past. I would say, back in 2019 with the Blues and the Bruins, this kind of thing happened as well. So, you had a scrappy team like the Blues and the Bruins who were more skilled at the time. And, the Blues come out on top. So that's why it gets chippy like this.
I think Danelle has another interesting question for the Philly people here today. It's the worst fans in sports. That's Danelle's opinion.
Respectfully, I disagree with you.
I disagree. And here's the thing: what people don't ever understand about Philadelphia. If you're not here, you don't get it. It's part of the culture. It's part of the culture. It's part of the Philadelphia identity.
I live in the state next to it. I understand. Yeah, it.
Neil, you get it. You get it just as much as anyone else. It's the Northeast. Right. The Northeast is a different breed of animal in terms of their sports level. You go all the way up to Boston. You come all the way down to Washington. Might be that Baltimore's probably that
the borderline.
That unofficial borderline, where it kind of stops. But like Florida, I they have a terrible fan base. Like they don't give a crap for the first 82 games of the season, and the only time they do care is when they're in the final. Like let's be honest.
Right. Look at the Toronto Maple Leafs fan base.
Oh, don't get me started. Right? Don't get me started on Toronto. I cannot stand the Maple Leafs. I mean, I like them a little better now. They brought in Brad Living instead of Kyle Dubas. I'll say that, but.
That'll be interesting.
A terrible fan base there.
Also, Spencer asked this question. Do you think the Panthers get lucky at home, but not at – I wouldn't necessarily say that they're lucky. It's just one of those, simple things of, they feed off their home crowd like Vegas does.
Mm-hmm. Part of it, yeah. And also knowing the way the board bounces are. Believe me, those rinks are unique. And when you're home on a rink, the soft spots in the boards for those bounce plays and where the great parts in the ice are or not. Believe it or not, it makes sense. So, they probably get a couple more lucky bounces you'll see at home, but definitely feeding up the momentum, no question.
Maple Leafs fans, we want Florida. One of the worst. one of the. Can we please take that back statements of all time? Yeah. Definitely, that was great. By the way, guys, should mention here again with DraftKings being the official sports betting partner of THPN, the over/under for goals in the first period is 1.5, so it's minus 110 for 1.5 or less. So obviously, if it stays this way, then you're good. Or you could go plus 175. I believe they said 175 here to have more than a goal and a half in the first period. And I believe Bill actually made a live bet as though a feed in front there to Barkov and a good save. Excuse me, Lundell with that shot there. It's followed up by Hill. But, Bill, can you quickly let the folks know again the bet that you made prior to this game starting?
I took the Vegas to win. Or, excuse me, I took Florida to win with the under, which was at 6 goals. So, and I said my prediction was a 3-1 win with that third goal being on the empty netter for Florida. So I'm feeling good right now, but we'll see.
A lot of hockey left to play here. Shots, if you could believe it, guys, shots are only 4-1 in favor of Florida. So I think defensively things have gotten better for both teams as Barkov with a shot that gets blocked. As a lot of block shots from both teams early so far in this game.
Well, watch what Florida's doing. Florida, as soon as the puck carrier has the puck, they're being aggressive and forechecking, and they're being they're not giving Vegas any gap. So that's a really good way to kind of really disrupt that possession and cycle game. And Florida's really trying to really do a job of really getting the puck in, trying to generate some offense down low. It's working a little bit, but really defensively, the adjustments they made are actually working very well so far.
As Barbashev goes down, and I think we're going to get a penalty, and we will. So it's going to be against the Panthers. It's going to be a tripping call as Barbashev looked like he was going to go off to the races on a 2-on-1. and it looked like somebody on the Panthers fell, and as they fell, they tripped Barbashev. We'll see it again here, hopefully on the replay, but now it looks like Vegas will get their first crack on the power play, a power play that it seems like as these playoffs, guys, it's has gone along, has gotten better and better.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I believe it might be, and it's going to be Mark Stahl, by the way, who trips up. Yeah, he got Barbashev good on that one. So Mark Stahl going to the sin bin. So now we'll see what Vegas can do here. 7:46 to go in the first. Still 1-0 Florida here, and I want to see if the Golden Knights can get some shots on goal because Florida really struggled on their first power play. The puck comes out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you can. No, you're good.
Now look, Florida's penalty kill hasn't been that great overall, and Vegas has a really, really good power play. So, I mean, Florida's really got to do everything they can to make sure that you can block every shot and not get them through to the net. And if one gets through, Bobrovsky's got to be there. This is going to be a test for Bobrovsky. He's looking at one shot in 13 minutes. So it's going to be a test for him.
No doubt about it. Golden Knights have scored 5 power play goals in the last 3 games. As Florida gets to it, tries to clear it. Second attempt by Reinhart, and he does. So clearly, the Golden Knights power play has been very lethal over the last couple of games. I would say, at least early on here, keep an eye on Jonathan Marchessault. The dude has been unreal so far in this final. As he gets it over, it's taken away by Florida, and Lundell just calmly chips it out of the zone with about a minute to go in the Vegas power play. So far, Vegas struggling to really set up much of anything as Gudas gets to it, and he'll clear.
I love how Gudas plays the game. I think he was so...
He's going to get a lot of money, I think, in the offseason. I believe he's a UFA at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Do you think he stays in Florida? I wonder that.
If you win the cup, yeah.
As Pietrangelo has to come back.
He's a value defenseman. You know, there's a lot of things that when he was here in Philadelphia, he's done a lot of the same things just on a better team, and he's taken that better role of being able to play physical and play smart, and that's his game. That's his game.
And we all know it. You know, when you're on a better team and a winning team, you're going to get noticed a lot more for your play than maybe you would have on a team that's not as good. Unless you're like a fan of the team that you're watching and like the players a lot more personally. It's Pietrangelo with a shot that deflects up and out of play with 10 seconds to go in the Vegas power play.
I want to answer Danelle Weaver's question. Do you think the Maple Leafs are like the Dallas Cowboys in the NHL? I absolutely have made that analogy multiple times in our podcast. 100%. 100%.
And if anybody can agree to that, it's people from Philadelphia and New Jersey.
Yes.
Yep.
By the way, that shot by Pietrangelo actually hit the top bar and went out of play. So he was inches away from tying the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
looked a lot more harmless on. It looked a lot more harmless on live TV than it did on the replay.
Yeah. Bobrovsky almost looked like he was slightly screened. Maybe his left. I don't know. Like his glove was a little slow to get to that, and it just. Here it is again on my replay.
They got tipped by Riley Smith.
Oh yeah,
they got tipped by Riley Smith.
It did. It's
Great
Eichel takes a
redirect. Yeah.
Eichel with the shot that saved by Bobrovsky, and so the power play is pretty much over with 1 second to go on it. So both teams, guys, with a power play in this first, neither really with much of anything.
Yeah, no, and you still can't even gauge how, like Scott said, he's only faced 1 shot, so you don't really know what Bobrovsky's mental state is after being blown apart in game 2. So that is, he makes a nice save right there for the second shot of the evening for them as it comes up.
Kevin Brown says Panthers can't press the whole game. No, and they shouldn't feel the need to do so because obviously they got the home crowd, and yeah, they are down 2-0 as that puck comes out in front for a moment. Vegas takes another shot that gets blocked at the left corner, but I think they just have to get back to their game that they were playing, back in that conference finals and what they've been playing throughout most of the year. Is again, guys, that shot by Eichel, by the way, just the 6th shot on goal of this first period. 4-2 shots are in favor of Florida. Again, lots of block shots from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you expect from these two teams. They're going to block a lot of shots, especially Florida, they're playing with their backs against the wall, down 2-0. This this is playing out to the script, as we say in sports, of what we expect from these two teams.
Right, and to go back to Kevin's point about the Panthers not pressing, this is the adjustment that they've made. They can't give Vegas the time and space they did in Game 2. They played pretty evenly in Game 1, but the two opportunities they really had in Game 1, they buried. Mark Stone knocking the puck out of midair, getting a chance right in the slot. That was a huge play for them. This is what they can't give Vegas the space. If Vegas has time and space, they're going to move the puck around. They're going to find open ice. They're going to get a quality chance on goal. If you close your gaps, you're getting a little more risk if someone gets behind you. But if you're closing your gaps and not giving them space to move the puck, they become much less effective. And you're really putting pressure on the forwards to try to generate scoring chances however they can, more sloppy plays rather than the skill plays than that they're used to. So I think that the Panthers pressing is actually a really good strategy so far. So
far, it has been kind of working. They're still up 1-0 here late in this first period. They seem to have a little bit more of the momentum as this period's gone along. But again, it is still only 1-0, and there's plenty of hockey left to go in this first period. I should also mention, Bill, because we talked about it earlier, the Phillies just beat the Tigers on a walk-off RBI single from
I just
Cody
saw it.
Clemens.
Nice.
So,
and he
what a
made the
game.
error. He made the error that started that whole thing against with Wheeler on the mound.
Yep.
There you go.
God.
So, unfortunately, also Wheeler lost the no-hitter. So that was unfortunate. And then the game didn't go to extras, but
I'm assuming the win went to Kimbrel. Maybe I don't know if he got that 10th inning. But
by the way, should also mention really quickly here, guys, that Brandon Montour, they just showed on screen, he just had his first child. Like
nice.
a couple days ago. So congratulations to the Montour family. And he got a goal. So I'm sure that goal is for his child. Is now a feed in front there, just goes wide.
New dad energy. That's what it is. New dad energy.
New dad energy. We love it. It happens so often in sports. Like somebody becomes a father, and then like the next 2 or 3 games that they play, they're all of a sudden the best player in their league.
Yep. 100%.
Somebody even said it like you want to become the best player at your sport, have a child. All of a sudden,
it's very true. Yes.
All of a sudden, you become Wayne Gretzky.
Yep.
Too bad that didn't translate for Scott's beer league when he plays goalie for his team.
Listen, man. Listen, it took my kids to be 5 and almost 6 and then 4 until I got my first championship. But I'll take it. All right.
Whoa, we got a penalty. We have an aggressive penalty call, by the way. This ref with the most aggressive call. I think he's calling it on William Carrier of Vegas. I think he actually might have called coincidental minors against both teams here. He kind of looked like he was pointing at multiple players. Carrier going to the box, his second penalty of the first period, and it's going to be, I forgot what this is. This is like charging?
Not instigating, is it?
No, as Carrier got a big-time hit on Radko Gudas, and then someone else, I think Gudis actually cross-checked a few moments later, so it looks like both teams are actually in the box, so we're skating 4 aside for the next 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird call.
Yeah, boarding. It's boarding.
Okay, so they called boarding on that one. What's going on, Andy? Good to see you, man.
This is interference.
Right.
Yeah.
This was boarding, right?
Yeah.
This is boarding? Okay.
Boarding, yep.
Gotcha.
Boarding. Yeah.
So
and then a cross check. Boarding, and you had a cross check.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there you go.
Just went right up to him and said, take this.
That's like such a dumb penalty from Gudas. It's like you already got
Gudas. That's Gudas's MO.
I know.
That's just how he plays the game. And that's as I just said just a moment ago, I like how he plays. I like his style.
Oh,
but this
here
is
we go.
You get with him.
We got a delayed penalty here coming up against the Panthers. It's going to be a tripping call. That shot there on Bobrovsky is stopped and covered. And so now we get a very interesting 4-on-3 power play opportunity for Vegas with 4:20 blaze it to go here in this first period.
Yeah. 420 blaze it. Love it.
I like how someone finally noticed that I just drop it in there without just to see if anybody notices that I say it. It's Anthony Duclair, by the way, going to the box.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Neil.
Fair enough. Nice. See, guys, people from New Jersey and Philly get along sometimes.
Right.
They get along. It's all good. I used to work in South Jersey. I dealt with Philly people all the time.
We're in South Jersey.
Cherry Hill.
Okay, I'm not far from there. So
okay, yeah, I worked for I had a sports talk TV show for 3 years at a place called RVN TV. So we worked out at Cherry Hill.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So here comes Vegas as now they start a 4-on-3 power play here with 1:28 to go on it. Eichel waits, gets over to Stone, back to Eichel. It slowly comes to him. He'll slow it up, get it to Marchessault, top of the point. Marchessault waits, gets it now to Theodore. Shea Theodore walks it, gives it to Marchessault with a drive, and he scores! It's Mark Stone on a deflection, and the Golden Knights have tied it up on the power play. It's 1-1.
Mark Stone is having a hell of a playoff.
He's such a good player, dude.
And this is what happens when Vegas has time and space. When they have time and space, they get to make the smart plays with the puck, and they get to set up their plays in front. And that's exactly what happens.
Great deflection there. It was a slow deflected shot, by the way. As it went through the legs. I think it went through the legs of Bobrovsky. As again, look, nobody is standing in front of Mark Stone. I get that it's 4-on-3, but still, nobody is standing in front, and he makes the Panthers pay. And so now we're skating four-side for 1:14, but a power play goal for Vegas on just their third shot of the evening.
Yeah, it's a great deflection by Stone there, and the shot's going from right to left. So as a goaltender, you're moving one direction, that puck goes the other way. That's a really hard shot to stop. And in general, if you're not prepared for it, but that's a great tip because it kind of snuck underneath him a little bit. That's a great play by Mark Stone there to get that goal and get them on the board. But that's what happens. You set up in that diamond penalty kill with three guys. You have no way of defending anything along those lines if the other team sets up two at the point.
Mark Stone with his second goal of the series. He has 2 goals and 1 assist so far in this Cup final. As now Pietrangelo walks the line. Good play there by Barkov. Trying to get a step on Pietrangelo. Gets knocked down. Barkov stays with it. Feeds it over to Reinhart. And he whiffed on it. Oh, he had Reinhart wide open for a tap in there. I don't know if his stick got lifted or not. But oh my, a golden opportunity for the Panthers there to retake the lead.
Just amazing.
I don't know. A great play by Barkov to get around Pietrangelo, to fight around him and make that play.
You know, for a game that only has 7, now 8 total shots on the day or on the night, these are some damn quality chances of the. Now, I guess 9 it would be. I'm still at 3 minutes right now.
Yeah,
I'm
a couple seconds behind too. Barkov should have just taken that to the net and shot. They have to
try to go backhand on that one. Backhand top shelf.
Yeah,
I think
he had plenty of room. That's
also it should have been a penalty. I think. I feel like Pietrangelo kind of dragged Barkov down. By the way, good the stick. By the way, so Reinhart didn't whiff on the shot. It was a great defensive play on the stick by Chandler Stevenson on the back check.
Yeah, still, that's why Barkov's got to take that to the net. I mean, anytime that you have that, and here's the thing, with all due respect, Adin Hill, he's played very well so far in these playoffs. But Adin Hill, this is the most he's ever been tested in his career, and up to this point, he hasn't been that effective. Yeah, if I'm Barkov, he had the room that's tucked that around. I mean, it is a great play by Chandler Stevenson to read it, but he had room there. He had room. You had Hill in the RVH. You could just go around them. I mean, at that point, that's what you can do. Yeah, and they've got to start playing. They have to start really trying to stuff those types of chances in on each.
I think you got to take a little bit more chances. As that shot there from Florida is stopped and gloved down by Adin Hill with 2:02 remaining in the first period. So we are still not even at 10 shots in total on goal. They're showing the Matthew Tkachuk hit. And again, he has yet to return since that hit. That is a massive loss if you're Florida.
Huge. Absolutely huge. You lose that energy that he brings, not only just the skill, but that's a big piece of your team missing right now. Now Paul Maurice has got to figure out how to juggle lines without that. That's going to be a huge problem against this team if they cannot find a way to start getting more pressure on Adin Hill.
And remember, the momentum really shifted in favor of Vegas in Game 2 after Gudas got rocked by Barbashev, and he never returned to that game. So, you can see how certain guys, when they're not in the lineup for Florida, it kind of rocks their confidence a little bit. As now Vegas comes the other way. Riley Smith tried to get it over to his teammate. He missed him. As now Gudas intercepts it for Florida. He'll chip it all the way back down. It won't be enough for an icing as Theodore gets there before Ryan Lundberg. 90 seconds to go in the opening period here as now Theodore will slow it up. Makes a long feed at center ice that's intercepted by Sam Bennett over to Verhaeghe. Now he's being hounded, regains the puck. Verhaeghe throws it over and it's deflected wide. Now Anthony Duclair in the left corner. Now McNabb fighting along with it with Barkov. Now Duclair gets to the Verhaeghe, gets it top of the point to Gudas, throws it, and that one just goes wide of the net. Vegas trying to get it out. They can't. Barkov now to Verhaeghe, intercepted. Forsling takes a shot that gets blocked over to the right side, and now Vegas will get to it, and they'll flip it out back into the Florida zone with 50 seconds to go in this period. And we'll see, guys, if either team can get something here just before the horn sounds.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the Tkachuk hit again. I don't think he's coming back. He got up and got Bambi legs. Like, it legit could not stand.
Do you think it's a chest thing? Like, I'm trying to figure out where he got hit.
No, his head was down. If you watch it in slow motion, Colasar gets him as his head was down, and he just went shoulder to shoulder to him. So it jolted his head back. But as he gets up, you can see he can't keep his balance. So I bet you 10-1, even though he's trying to probably come back. No way a neurologist is probably going to come back the way it just looked. Especially the Bambi legs are a dead giveaway. When he got up and got that little stumble there, that's the big key.
As that shot from Florida, I think, hit the post. It looked like it got through past Aiden Hill, but it didn't beat the post with 30 seconds to go in the period as we'll get an icing here against Florida. I'm not really sure as that shot, we'll see it again here on the replay. So Bennett won the faceoff, got it back to Montour, and no, I think it just hit somebody. The Florida Panthers fans were acting like it hit the post or something. I don't know why.
That was a weird redirect.
Yeah,
that was a very weird redirect.
I think from certain angles in the stands, it probably looked like it was a lot more like serious than really what it was.
Yeah, the way that deflected, you would have heard that ping ring out. Now, maybe there was a ping and we just didn't hear it because we have the
right. As Pietrangelo with a shot that is saved by the right leg pad of Bobrovsky. Puck is now in the right corner of the Florida zone with 20 seconds to go in the period. As now both teams whacking at it on the right side. Now it's intercepted by Pietrangelo. Waits, gets it to Stone. That's deflected. Feed in front there. And that one is fought out by Bobrovsky. Florida gets it out of the zone. Looking for maybe one last chance. 6 seconds to go in the period. Still with it now. Florida's still whacking at it. 3 seconds. Bennett with it now. Waits. Tries to get a shot. It gets blocked. And the horn sounds as we finally, guys, got to 10 shots on goal as the period draws to an end with both teams tied at a goal apiece. Just moments ago, Chandler Stevenson tried a backhand pass to Howden, but it actually ended up being saved by the right leg pad of Sergei Bobrovsky. But nonetheless, it is 1-1 after 20 minutes of play. So, gentlemen, your thoughts so far after the first period?
Massive save by Bobrovsky there near the horn. I mean, giving up a goal there that late in the first period would be backbreaking. It's a great pass by Pietrangelo, deflected by Stone, and then, just off the toe, right off the scoop of the pad. That is a fantastic save. It's a slow roller. It can kind of throw you off a little bit. Look, back and forth first period, 1-1. Shots at 5 apiece. Defensively, each team is playing well. If it weren't for that power play, I mean, this game could look totally different. From a perspective of Vegas, because I don't think Vegas has played very well at all in this first period.
No, that's what I was going to say. I think this has been, despite it only being 1-1 in a low shot game, this played into the Panthers' hands for the most part. Other than that power play,
right.
The Panthers were able to get on the rush, create a lot of chances, and keep it in their zone, and not give Vegas any time and space to be able to do what they usually do to set things up, except in that one exception when they got the goal.
And we'll see what both adjustments both teams make, and we'll see what the status is of Matthew Tkachuk as we go along here. But before we jump in, as only 5 teams down 0-2 have come back in the Stanley Cup history to win the Cup. So Florida looks to hopefully be the 6th team. But before we continue on here, what were you saying?
Good stat pull by Kevin there.
That is a good stat pull. Shout out to Kevin with that one. But before we jump into our first intermission report, we're going to take a moment to step aside to get our first word of the night from our sponsors. And welcome everybody here to our first intermission report, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And after 20 minutes of play, both teams with a goal. We had Brandon Montour scoring just about 4 minutes into this one. And then late in the period on a 4-on-3 power play, it was Mark Stone with a deflection in front. Again, to introduce ourselves, my name is Neil Villapiano, the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, and I am joined by my good buddies Bill and Scott from the Orange and Back Check podcast, also here on THPN. They cover the Philadelphia Flyers. So, gentlemen, I know I asked you guys this question before we went to break, but I'll ask you again. What are your thoughts from both teams' perspectives, starting with the Golden Knights after the first 20 minutes of action?
Yeah, I think Vegas just didn't play well. Like I don't know if it's the crowd getting to them or Florida's just good defense, because they played with a lot of press, Florida. So there wasn't an adjustment made by Vegas on that, because why would they? Why would Vegas make an adjustment after going from what they did in Game 2 to tonight in Game 3? So I'm curious how they'll come out for this second period, because Florida has them pinned, and other than that power play goal, there hasn't been much going for the Vegas Knights.
I agree. Vegas has not played that great. Again, you kind of expect that in the first period of a team that's come home down 0-2. The last two teams that have come down from 0-2 in the Stanley Cup Finals are the 2011 Boston Bruins, which the Florida Panthers clearly are not, but probably resembles close to the 2009 the Pittsburgh Penguins, who also came down 2-0 from Detroit. So you got that momentum there. The kicker is really, how is Florida going to respond if Matthew Tkachuk cannot return to this game?
I was going to bring that up. Yep.
That's the big question. So overall, Vegas has some work to do, but if they have to try to find a way to adjust to Florida's game plan, but if Florida keeps playing this game where they're going to press and close those gaps and not give any space to the Vegas Golden Knights, they're going to have a better chance.
Right.
Having to juggle lines like that it can be a really tough game. And I think in a game like this, because some guys are going to be double shifting, and one player that I really think needs to step up in this series for Florida is Carter Verhaeghe. And Carter Verhaeghe has been a really good scoring player for them overall this season, but he's been kind of quiet. And I think that Verhaeghe really needs to kind of step it up. Brandon Montour is always going to chip in, but I think that you can't rely just on Eric Stahl, on Mark Stahl, and those older veterans. Sasha Barkov, shoot the damn puck, dude, and get Carter Verhaeghe going, because Anthony Duclair's having a good series so far. I just think it's a matter of time if they can start getting some shots on Adin Hill with some screens in front, and he has to start battling through that rather than giving just in close shots. He's a 6'6" goalie. He's got a lot of frame. He's not going to get anything in tight.
Right.
But if you can get some bodies in front and kind of view his way in traffic, he gets a little low in his stance for his size. Just like that first goal, it could just miss it. He might not be able to track it. That's what Florida needs to start doing offensively.
And you brought up a good point, obviously, Scott. The other than the two goals, the big thing is the health of Matthew Tkachuk. He got leveled earlier in the first period on a hit from Kolasar. He stayed on the bench for a moment or two and then went to the locker room and has not returned since. If you remember from Jack Eichel, when he got hit from Matthew Tkachuk back in Game 2, he did not come back for the rest of that second period, but once the third period started, he did come back, and he has played ever since. So I'm sure Florida's hoping that that's the same case. Tkachuk, he was slow to get up. He was slow to make his way to the bench, and it's a big level of concern if you're Florida.
Yeah, especially with the Bambi legs, man. Those Bambi legs, it's not a good sign. So, I mean, it could be both a shoulder, according to Bruce Arthur. Tkachuk could have resulted in both a shoulder and a concussion. But I bet you 10-1 that a independent neurologist take a look at him, make sure that he's good to go.
They can win this evening. Like if Tkachuk is out for these next 40 minutes, they can win. That's not the biggest concern. The concern is games 4 through 7. If he's out for the rest of this series, or even just game 4 and 5, say for those, that's about a week right there. That's not a good sign for Florida. That's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how things progress. We'll keep an eye on that. What is going on, Jeff? By the way, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you like what you see, make sure to drop a like on the stream, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified of every time we go live right here on THPN's YouTube channel. And I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. We are going to have an NHL draft extravaganza live watch along here on the channel for the 28th. Which is the first day, the first night of the NHL draft. We'll be doing the entire first round, and myself and Kyle Manifold will be the main hosts, and we will have hosts from all the teams who are drafting in the first round joining us here also to discuss the picks and everything like that. So when we do have that set up, make sure to give it a like, share it with your family and friends, and join in. It's going to be a lot of fun. We had a lot of people on the draft lottery. I think like 18,000 at one point. It was phenomenal. And let's try to top that here for the NHL draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, June 28th, so about 20 days from now, about a little less than 3 weeks from now. I can't believe that we're already thinking about the beginning of next season with the NHL draft.
That's what I love about the NHL compared to the NFL, where you do the Super Bowl in February and then we don't get the draft until late April, maybe even early May. Basketball and hockey have it right. They do wrap up their championships, and then two weeks later we're doing the draft for the following season, and that's a beautiful thing. And then July 5th or July 3rd is always the start of the first. I guess July 1st is the first game of the day of the new season, so free agency starts, and it's always a good time, especially when you're like Scott and I trying to figure out what the hell this team is going to be doing and looking like for the 2023-2024 season in the Philadelphia Flyers. So it's gonna be a lot.
Be interesting.
So just as a heads up to you guys, just looking here, Elliot Friedman is saying that it could be a shoulder injury for Matthew Tkachuk. And Dr. Harjis Gruwal, who does more like the pro football doc, he's like that for hockey. He's saying the mechanism can cause a separated shoulder or broken collarbone for Tkachuk. Broken collarbone, obviously out for the final. Lower grade separated shoulder can be played with pain management, taping, and support, but a concussion evaluation would also be prudent. So there's a lot going on here. That shoulder, head, there's a lot that's happening.
Or the and of course we're only going to be told like either undisclosed or upper body injury.
Correct.
We're not going to be told anything else.
Which is a side note. I cannot stand that.
Thank you.
Can't stand that.
No, Scott, let's bring this up. This is a good topic. I like this.
This is the dumbest thing that the hockey's ever come up with. The friggin' Flyers started this crap about a decade ago, but he's got an upper body injury. He's got a lower body injury. He's got this and that. Yeah, I saw the guy's leg bend behind his head. Yeah, of course I know he's got a lower body injury. What the hell is going on? I don't understand why they hide these injuries. When a guy tears his ACL in the NBA, MLB, and NFL, why the hell won't they tell you in hockey what the hell's going on there? Oh, he pulled his groin. He's going to be out he's day to day with a groin injury. Just tell us that. It's not like the other teams are going to find out anyway.
Crazy.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
It is.
And Rand.
It drives me nuts. Like you bring up a good point, Scott. Like it drives me nuts when like we clearly see what the issue is, and then we're told like it's upper body. Like, yeah, obviously we're not stupid. Nobody and like, do the coaches know?
Yeah,
we don't have, like I don't know why this is still being considered like because you mentioned like in the NFL, somebody gets hurt, you're told right away, a day or two, maybe even after the game.
Yep.
The dude broke his collarbone or like whatever. It's like, okay, we know what it is. In hockey, guy gets hurt and then we're told later on it's an upper body. What does that mean?
Or even worse, like, oh, his head got knocked off. Oh, he's got an undisclosed injury. Oh, I'm sure I don't know what it is, thinking that it's his head's hanging on by his spine. That's it. That's it makes no
like
sense to me.
Do you remember when Timo Meier got rocked by Trouba way back in the first round of these playoffs? You guys saw that hit? Yeah, they said, oh, he has an upper body injury. Dude, he has a broken nose. It's very obvious.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
His nose is shattered.
Yeah.
And then like, locker room clean out day. Oh yeah, I broke my nose. No.
Yeah.
Really? I could never figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is wrong with the hockey culture, man? It's weird.
It really is.
It's
stupid that they don't do this stuff. Like fans aren't stupid.
You guys like and we watch other sports, and it's like, yeah, if somebody gets hurt, we know he got hurt. We know what it is.
Like
Yeah.
we know what happens in an NFL injury, like the second that it happens, like not just like visually, like we're told, oh, he has the busted ankle, he has a busted.
Look at DeMar
hamstring.
Hamlin, right?
Yeah.
Look at DeMar Hamlin. Like we found out like maybe like 20 minutes to a half hour after it happened. Like we knew people were telling us what happened. If that happened in the NHL, they would not tell us anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of, not to go,
Which happened a couple seasons ago with Jay Bowmeister.
Yeah.
Right.
Rich
And also,
Peverly, about a
what was
decade ago.
And it was Radek Foxa of Dallas. Remember that?
Yeah, it
He
was
like passed out on the bench.
Rich
He was like getting
Peverly
off and
did
he
the
just like
same thing.
collapsed.
Yeah, Rich Peverly did the same thing in Dallas. Rich
Right.
Peverly had it almost 10 years ago. Yeah, it was scary
Right.
as hell.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I remember
Bill,
they carried him off on the bench. They like to carry him into the tunnel. If that was Dallas that I'm thinking of, a couple years back.
Yeah.
Well, Yuri Fisher back in 2004, I believe it was.
Yuri
He had a
Fisher.
heart
Yeah,
attack.
that's the one I'm
He
thinking
had a
of.
heart
Yeah.
attack on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that one goal? Remember that one goalie? I think it was Andre Pavlik.
Yeah,
Remember he
I
passed
remember
out?
that.
He was like, the game just stopped. He made a save. Puck comes out the other way, and he just goes like he's
just
calling to
collapsed.
somebody. He just like falls back, and
Yeah.
that's it.
In 2010, and he wasn't moving when they stretched him up. That happened to Michael Neuwirth in 2016 or 2017 as well.
Oh, it was Neuwirth, right? Not
Well, it
not
happened to
Pavlik.
both of them. It happened to Andre Pavlik in 2010, and then it happened to what's his name? Michael Neuwirth in
Neuwirth,
2016.
Flyers legend Michael Neuwirth.
Yeah. Sets the team record for the most times on the injured list.
Yeah.
I think he was on the injured list more than he played actual games.
By the way, Bill, I think you said you wanted to bring something up.
Oh, I wanted to, because you brought up DeMar Hamlin. Did we all see that Madden 24, whatever it is at this point, it has Josh Allen on the cover?
Yeah,
Zoom
and
in
Bill's
real-
Mafia.
Zoom in real carefully on that helmet. Madden EA Sports has to do a way better job of the Photoshop than anyone here at the Hockey Podcast.
Was it
Network.
bad?
Oh, you can
I have to
see where
look.
they
See,
messed
now
up
you
hard.
got me curious. I gotta
I'm
look
looking it
this
up
up.
there. Hang on.
I have to look at this. I mean, here's the thing. I haven't played Madden in a long time. I
Neither
don't play
have I.
video games very often,
Like,
anymore.
I guess
Like, I want to
I-
play the new college football game. I want to play that.
So apparently that is going to be delayed because they're. Did you hear this?
I did, dude. Here's the thing.
Paying the players $500
Okay,
to be in the
but-
game.
But 90% of the college athletes are still not getting paid anything anyway. So $500.
Yeah, but like you can't tell
I'm
the
just saying.
star at Ohio State or Alabama or at Georgia, hey, you're only getting $500 for us to use your likeness in literally going to be the most popular video game in a long, long time.
Bill,
We've
they
been-
are getting paid with an education in this
Yeah,
country.
okay,
And you
yeah.
don't know the value of that, okay?
Bill,
Listen,
maybe they can-
there's
You
a lot of
talking
people.
about this cover, by the way? Is
No,
it this
there's
one?
another one. He's with Bill. It's the one with Bill's Mafia.
There's a lot of people in this
I'm
country
trying to-
who
what
go
am I-
to college to come
I'm trying
out
to see,
with
like, what am
a
I
house
looking
debt.
for here?
Here, I'll find it because
What am I looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for.
here I got it.
I don't know what I'm looking for here. I'm like trying to see it.
You can
It's
see
so
the,
straight.
the middle bar.
Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God.
Oh no! Oh no!
Awful.
Like, come
That
on,
is
guys.
God
Like,
awful.
sports is completely
Oh my god!
comparing, especially with a game like Madden. And it's funny.
Oh, dude, and NHL and EA, by the way, is also like terrible.
Oh yeah, Scott's been.
Oh, you think
ranting about that for a
Madden's
while.
got the bad? I always say this. You think Madden's the only one that EA screws over all the time? Dude, it's every game.
Before
Here's
I
what
got,
EA did. EA had to go out and get the exclusive contracts, so they had no competition because 2K Sports had a much better football game than Madden did.
If you
They
haven't
sold it for
played,
$20.
if you haven't played ESPN NFL 2K5, I highly recommend you play that
Oh
game.
my God,
Best
that's
video game ever made
that's
for
the greatest
football,
sports game
and
ever.
it's not even.
I
close.
agree.
the only
I agree.
time- I didn't know this until I bought the game. I forget which NHL was. It was like 13. It was around the time when the 360 was still the popular one, but the Xbox One had just come out. And I bought, and it was the first time they put an NHL game on Xbox One, but it was still on 360, and that's all I had. So I went and bought it. They put all of the new features for NHL, whatever it was, on the Xbox One version. They just copied and pasted the previous year's version on the 360 version. So I purchased it, started the game, and I was like, this is the exact same game I have last year. I don't want this. I went back to the GameStop, and they're like, well, technically we have to sell it. You have to sell it back to us. And I'm like, you're going to give me all of my money because this is not a new game. This is just a game with a different title. And I finally wore them down at like 21 years of age. It was great. It was the greatest accomplishment of my 20s.
And we can go on and on about what is wrong with EA Sports. But the second period, by the way, of our hockey game, because we're talking hockey here, is underway here. Jonathan Marchessault, by the way, guys, he extended his point streak with an assist on the Mark Stone goal to 8 games, which is now the new franchise record in the playoffs. And we have a penalty 24 seconds in to this period. I believe it's against Florida. So not a good start.
And Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, excuse me. No, it's William Carrier for the 3rd time in this game. He's going to the sin bin for Vegas. It's Vegas who's going to the penalty kill.
Can you foul out in a hockey game?
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine like six penalties you're done? Like, all right. That's
3 penalties, and that's a major. You're done. You know.
Oh, the penalty that wasn't even like a near attempt of trying to try and disguise that as not a trip. That was so blatant.
I feel like some players in hockey, especially in NHL, they know nothing but taking penalties.
Yeah. I mean, that's like why they track those stats. That's why people see the PIM.
It's hilarious, dude. My favorite was with PIM was Jack Hughes of the Devils is one of the finalists for the Lady Byng Award for like gentlemanly conduct or whatever they call it. Literally same night, right? Game 3. The second round against Carolina. He gets into a major fight with Sebastian Aho. And I'm like, well, he's not winning the Lady Byng anymore. And like Jack was like, I really don't care. Like, I don't. I've lost the tooth. I've lost everything. I have nothing to lose anymore. Oh my God, it's like great. So Florida's on a power play here. Early on in this period is now the Panthers tries to have Montour. Now over to Verhaeghe, gets it back, and a diving play there by Montour keeps it in. Very sloppy early on from Florida as Pietrangelo clears. So let's see what Florida can do here. They're 0 for 1. Shots are 6-5 in favor of Vegas. We only had 10 shots the entire first period, guys. It didn't
feel like that. It felt like there was
slow-moving first period. I would actually think it was a slow-moving first period.
Yeah, too. A lot of block shots will do that. Yeah, a lot of that, and then see how the power play goes. It's already bad enough now without Matthew Tkachuk in it. That's going to make a major difference.
Yeah, Tkachuk again. They have not announced that he's out for the game. They just said he hasn't come back. So again, I think he's probably done for the night. Is now. Bennett waits, holds it. Wrist shot gets blocked in front by Vegas. It comes out of the zone. Again, another good block shot from this Vegas Golden Knights penalty kill.
Yep.
This is really.
Yep. No Tkachuk for the second period per Elliot Freeman. So yep, it's gonna they're gonna have to find a way to get a dirty goal here and really try to hold on to it.
They have to, and again, Bill brings up a good point. They may win, Florida may win tonight, but then the question is going to be, what is the status of Tkachuk moving forward going into game 4? That's really going to be what you're going to look at. As Ekblad with a shot, it gets deflected wide by Lundell. Cousins keeps it in for Florida. Forsling tries to wrap it around the boards, but Pietrangelo gets to it. Penalty kill is up, or power play is up, so Vegas now 2 for 2, and guys, Matthew Tkachuk has just come back onto the bench for Florida, so he is back playing.
I'm telling you, I think it was a shoulder. I know we were speculating concussion. When he was going to the bench, he looked when he was going to the locker room, he was moving across the bench fine for the most part. Obviously, it sounds like he's getting whatever they pumped him in or cortisone shot, whatever it is, for that shoulder or the chest, but I think it was just a good, hard, clean hit. Obviously, you always want to check for concussion because you can still get concussed with that kind of hit, but I didn't get the sense that he was completely concussed on that shot. But concussions are weird. They're the weirdest injury.
They can show up later. They can show up later without a doubt.
No, and it'll be one of those things again, guys, where like we're not going to be told right now what the player is dealing with. It'll be like after the Stanley Cup Finals, like, oh, he like tore his shoulder.
You know what? I'm feeling a Paul Correa moment here tonight. I'm feeling that he's going to be off the floor, on the board. I feel like Tkachuk's going to get one if he comes back out of the ice.
Scott, did you just bring that up because I covered the Devils?
No, I love Gary Thorne. I have a major thing for Gary Thorne.
I wish Gary Thorne could come back to hockey because he's not doing anything right now.
I love you, Neil. I love you. You get it. You get it. Bill, you know what? I'm gonna do a podcast with him. You can
Well, I was telling Bill Scott that as we get into next season with the outdoor game, I think we definitely got to do something.
100%. Yeah, Bill and I actually talked about that the other night. Yeah, 100% we got to do that.
I would love to. Yeah. No, and you guys do a great job. I see you guys posting episodes all the time. So, you guys do a great job. You're one of the few Flyers podcasts I actually am friends with.
Wow, look at that.
We're also the only one but it's fine.
Probably the only one, right? Exactly. The only one that I know. But
listen, I
am a Phillies fan though, so there's that.
I give him that. I'll give you credit for that. Listen, I got to give you credit. I know what's it called? It's very honorable to meet the Devils fan. I didn't know there was many of them, and it's honorable to meet one. I will say that. So,
there we go. Nice little.
I gotta get my Philly little jab.
Oh, of course, I get it. I get it. As now Florida dumps it in. By the way, guys, Florida not only 0 for 2 on the power play, not a single shot on goal. They have not generated anything on the man advantage.
And that's the problem up front. They don't have the skill up front to generate that. They don't have that natural scoring or that team presence. See, Vegas' difference, they have that team presence where they can move the puck around. Jack Eichel's a big part of that, yes.
Great glove save, by the way, just now by Bobrovsky on a Vegas player. It was Haig with the shot. He had a lot of space to shoot that one. I'm sure he tried to go top shelf. So see it getting on the replay. Hey, he tried to go top shelf. Bobrovsky, just good job with the glove to make that save.
Take a look here. It's going to happen for me in a second. I'm a little behind here. Thanks, TNT. Oh, perfect positioning there. Perfect positioning. Really look, no flashing of the glove. He holds it up, shoots it right into it. Doesn't give him any.
Keep it up. I mean, it's something as a goaltender you learn when you're a kid. Keep the glove up.
Agree. Watch his hands. His hands don't move. His body's locked in, shoulders in tight, nothing through the 6-hole. Holds that glove up. From that puck angle, it's got to travel upwards. So it hits the pocket right of the glove right there. Great positioning by Bobrovsky. Didn't overreact to it. Played it perfectly.
Good save there now just by Bobrovsky on a shot from William Karlsson. And then again, some pleasantries after the whistle. The shots are currently 7-5 as Matthew Tkachuk is back on the ice for the first time since his injury, since he got rocked back in the first period. So now we'll see. I think it's something to keep an eye on, guys. We'll see how effective he can still be as now the fans come to their feet here as they're cheering on Tkachuk. And guys, Matthew Tkachuk, a guy who has made such an impact in just one season coming over from Calgary.
Yeah, he plays a lot like his dad did, that's for sure. And it's his brother in Ottawa, Brady. Those are cut from the same cloth. And he plays a lot like his dad, natural leader, plays tough. And just, people rally around that, especially when you have blue-collar working teams like Florida. They people rally around players like that. He brings the energy. And look, the fans are back in it now.
Wait. Did you just say that Florida's a blue-collar?
No. A team like Florida. Not Florida itself.
Florida. No, Sunrise. Very blue-collar. Because nobody knows where it is.
The banned book state. That's really what it is. But, no, I'm saying that the team itself is a blue-collar team. You don't get to the Stanley Cup Final, going 9-1 in your last 10, essentially, with Alex Lyon. And tell me that you're not a team that's hardworking. Yeah, you're doing something right there.
As I said before, Lehigh Valley Phantom legend Alex Lyon.
Yeah.
As we have a delayed penalty here, and it's against Florida. It's going to be a hold against Aaron Ekblad, and he is fuming. But nonetheless, Vegas going to their third power play. They tied the game on a 4-on-3 power play on a goal from Mark Stone, and now they'll have a chance to see if they can take the lead. Also, what a job by the referee to leap up into the air to avoid getting rocked.
I just saw that. That just flashed across my screen.
Yeah.
Is that Wes? I don't think that's Wes McCauley. I thought that was for a second.
Where was the hold?
I guess it's because Stevenson was blocking the guy, and then that's why I think Aaron Ekblad's fuming because he's that really wasn't a hold. Face off here.
It's not a hold. That's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. That is not a penalty.
That's just two guys going for the puck. I don't know.
Yeah, that was ticky tacky. As Reinhart clears out of the zone. Yeah, it's a little ticky-tacky.
That was almost a goal.
This
by
is
Vegas,
why
too.
this game
Whoa.
only has 13 shots in it, because there's no flow. Because every 2 minutes they're going in the box. That's a nonsense call. And that angry Florida fan I'm seeing on TV right now
Yeah.
is absolutely right to be angered like that. That's absurd.
Yeah, I'm sure Florida fans are not happy as Eichel now walks the right side, gets it top of the point to Theodore. Theodore now over to Marchessault, now gets it to Eichel. Eichel with some space, walks up, waits, right face-off dot, now in the right corner. Eichel now to the right side near the Vegas bench. Eichel still with the puck now, tries to get it to Stevenson. Over to Marchessault with a drive. That one is stopped by Bobrovsky. Puck comes all the way out of the zone, but a big-time save from Bobrovsky on Marchessault as he's looking for already his fourth goal of these finals. Over and out of Stone. Toe drag shot, and that one is gloved and covered by Bobrovsky. Big time save as Mark Stone, all he could do was smile and grin his teeth after a really good chest save, from Bobrovsky there.
I'm distracted by the Florida fan that is absolutely going after the ref right now. The guy,
Yeah, I know.
the bro,
He gave the ref the double bird just now.
He's wearing a very tight knit shirt. And,
Eli Manning style gave him the double bird. Can we do that on these?
That's very good.
Well,
Is this allowed? That's great.
He was in the middle of the play setup. He's just pointing at the ref, going, "You suck, man." I'm sure he was saying a little bit more colorful language than you.
I wish sometimes the refs in the NHL would see that fan and just interact just for fun, not even to try to start something just to be fun.
Yeah, that would be anti NHL. We can't have fun.
Remind me after this period to tell you a story about myself, Sean Avery, and Glenn Sather. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
That's a tease.
That's interesting. It's Nick Wall with a shot that gets fought up by Bobrovsky. Vegas' second unit is on now. 13 seconds ago on the Golden Knights power play. Pietrangelo over to Carlson. Waits. Fires, and that one just goes wide at Bobrovsky. Pietrangelo keeps it in with 5 seconds to go on the power play. Smith feeds it over now to Waugh. Power play is up for Vegas. Smith now with the puck. Over to Waugh. Waugh waits. Backhand try, and a shoulder save by Bobrovsky to the right corner, and Ekblad clears.
That's why your goaltender's your best penalty killer. Keep it a minute.
100%.
Keep it a minute.
Shots right now, by the way, guys. Florida still without a shot on goal since this period started. It is 6-0 in favor of Vegas since this second period started.
Well, that's what happens when you give Vegas time and space, and especially when you have open ice on a power play. If this game can get some more flow 5-on-5, Florida can get back to shutting them down again.
So hopefully maybe that kill. I'm sorry, Bill, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's just really bad penalty committing by Florida right now.
I mean, do we really
both teams?
Yeah.
Do we really get on Aaron Ekblad though for that call?
No, that's true.
That was a terrible call by the referees.
Yeah.
It's now Duclair one-on-one, gets around a defender, and he tries to go with the power move, and he draws a penalty. It's going to be against Vegas. Yeah, dude, there's too many penalties in this game.
Penalties in this game.
Oh my God.
Let them play. They put the whistles away for most of the playoffs, and now all of a sudden this game they want to blow it every 2 seconds.
This is because of how Game 2 ended. This is the problem. They're they have a tight whistle tonight. That's what it is. So Florida's going to go to the power play again. Their third of the night. They just killed off a Vegas power play, and now we'll see if they can do something here as we're still tied at a goal apiece here, just about 8 minutes in to the second period.
That's such a weak hooking call. Come on, it just flashed in real time.
It's momentum. You know what it is? It's compensatory. We blew it on the Ekblad call, so we'll give you this one.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, agreed. That's a weak call too. He barely look. I understand if you're using the action of the stick to pull him back, that's fine. But he put his hand around to try to get to the puck. It wasn't a deliberate pulling motion.
Right.
Listen, I agree with you. Sometimes these referees to kind of keep the game in check. But here's the problem. The thing that backfires on it is that it disrupts the actual flow of the game. So what happens is that it's like basketball. You go up and then all of a sudden it's a foul. You got to stop. You go up the other way, it's a foul. You got to stop. You don't have any back and forth action, and that's really the best because look when the Florida played Toronto. There was some segments of that game, and especially the Carolina series, where they played the same way.
Right.
But the thing is, they didn't blow the whistle. There was like at times during some of those games, 8-9 minutes between stoppages. And that's the kind of flow you're looking for. And that's how teams really get going in hockey. And you can't have that on a penalty. Kevin's right. Zebras. Go back to the damn zoo. It's true.
Also, Kevin said this, the Panthers look spent, and I do kind of agree with that. They look like they're playing on their heels right now, but this is an opportunity right now with the power play to get themselves going, as it's Braden McNabb going to the box for a hooking call on that one.
And part of the reason they look spent is because they're on the penalty kill. You have one guy short out
giving
there.
Time and space.
Exactly, and that's the key that you have to look for, Kevin. Look how much time and space that the Vegas is getting.
I was going to say, Scott, you've said time and space so many times tonight, and I'm just like, I love it. I just love, like, it's the dreaded words, time and space.
Yeah. Look, it's the truth, though. That's how they play. That's a possession game that Vegas plays. They want to control the puck. They want to cycle. They want to move it around. Florida does not play that way. So taking away and closing the gap between the forward and the defender, that's what they need to do more often.
Yeah, I don't even think it's Florida getting spent. I think it's just they've been getting some ticky-tack calls, and they finally just got one here on that hooking penalty. So now let's see how they establish it as they drop the puck in front of my screen. So I'm sure they did it about 10 seconds.
As Carlson gets to it, and he'll clear for Vegas just 30 seconds into it. By the way, guys, if you want to watch the game live with us, it is on TNT and TBS in the United States. I believe it's also on Sportsnet and TSN up in Canada as well. You can also find, I usually tell people to look for a stream on Reddit. If you can't find one, that's usually what I suggest. If you usually Reddit's pretty reliable.
Are you on TBS?
I'm currently on TBS, so that might be why it might be ahead of you, because it's a little weird.
Are you on cable or are you on a computer?
I'm on cable. It's a shot there from Reinhart, and he just missed in the slot. But yeah, I'm on cable, so that's why I'm probably getting a little bit further along. It's Bennett with a shot that is saved by Hill, and then Vegas clears.
I'm wondering if there's less of a delay if I go to TBS.
No, I mean, you can give it a shot.
They're at 140 right now on the power play, and then TNT app's at 1 minute.
33 seconds and ticking to go in the Florida power play. 10:31 to go in the second period. Still 1-1 here in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida Panthers, Vegas Golden Knights, as now Tkachuk in the right faceoff dot drops to Verhaeghe. Top of the point now to Montour. Now over to Verhaeghe. Gets it over. Shot from Bennett. That would have stopped. Scramble in front. Vegas gets to it and no clear. That was a great opportunity for Florida. Couldn't cash in. And so the Panthers will go to 0-3 on the power play. But guys, definitely probably the best of the three power plays so far tonight for the Panthers.
You know what's crazy? Just something I thought of. The Panthers are 0-6 lifetime in the Stanley Cup Final. Imagine this place if they win tonight.
I did. Yeah, Scott, I actually did mention that before we started here tonight. Is that shot deflected by Lundell is stopped by Hill, and then a turnaround chance for Verhaeghe, and that one got blocked. As now the Panthers have some momentum here as they just can't keep it in. But yeah, Florida 0-6 lifetime in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Now you're starting to establish some flow here. You're getting some offense. You're generating some chances. You got Matthew Tkachuk back, so you're rolling your lines. This is good. This is good for the Panthers.
We need to go at least 7 or 8 minutes without a penalty call. Like I need like a little bit of speed here. As a shot there from 22 of the Panthers is fought up by Hill. As now Barbashev will control it. He's actually being hounded by Colin White. I believe that's Colin White, if I'm not mistaken. White of Florida, as that one's trying to keep it in the zone. Now here comes Jack Eichel one-on-one with a defenseman. Tries the power move, but a good defensive play there. Now 20 gets to it for Florida. Now gets over to Reinhart. Comes up the center of the ice. He'll chip it in. Gets around a defender, and he'll get to the puck first in the right corner. Wraps it around the boards, but it's actually intercepted by Pietrangelo, and he'll flip it out. So do you guys feel like the flow is improved in this second period, or do you think it's about the same what we saw in the first 20 minutes?
Now that the flow is more established, you had one side, each team with a penalty. Actually, Florida had 2 power plays. You have that Vegas 1. Now you're playing some 5-on-5. Now you're going to get into some the meat potatoes. Sometimes they like to call it with this game, as far as establishing that. What's my favorite word, Bill?
Flow.
Flow.
Scott's a big flow guy. Is now Carlson over to McNabb with a shot and a great chest save by Bobrovsky, and the rebound try goes wide and out of the zone. What a save from Bobrovsky, who has really redeemed himself so far tonight, as Carrier with a shot that deflects up and out of play. Wow, what a sequence there. But the big stop from Bobrovsky gets the crowd roaring in Sunrise.
Just a bad turnover as that to create that chance by Florida. Oh my goodness.
By the way, Pietrangelo with a big hit on Matthew Tkachuk. And then he's kind of I don't know if he's chirping at the bench or at his own bench, but yeah, he got a little elbow to the chest there. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, not quite yet, but I mean, that save by Bobrovsky was huge. Yeah, that's what they need. They look at the fans are in it. Let's see the hit here.
Let's
see.
You saw it a little bit, right? That little,
yeah, a little shove.
A
little shove.
I think they know. I think Vegas knows. Like, okay, Tkachuk is probably hurt. Let's try to rough him up and try to get him out of this game if we can.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference between just the natural flow of a game and you hit a guy again and it hurts him and you knock him out. That was blatant. Like, that's just a
I agree.
That's part of the game. Listen, I'm not a fan of dirty play, but I mean that's just playing. That's just getting him out of space. Like, listen, if Tkachuk had the same opportunity the other end, he'd do the same thing. So you have to kind of give and take a little. That's the kind of game that he plays. His dad played the same way. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, nothing wrong with it at all. But this has been, I feel like, a little bit more energetic second period. I feel like there's been more grade A opportunities for both teams, but it's kind of nice considering how game 2 ended up going. It was very much one-sided, and then you go to this game and it's back and forth. And particularly, I'm noticing Bobrovsky, really good response after the first 2 games.
Yeah, and Bobrovsky, I think, has shaken the stigma around him come playoff time ever since his days in Columbus. A little bit in Philly, but there wasn't really anything that he could do about Philly.
It was very early in his career in Philly.
It was super early. Like, Carter Hart is an exception to the rule of what we usually see with goalies in terms of first teams. But I think this is the Bobrovsky that I kind of expected. I kind of wanted the Flyers to be patient with him and see what you could get out of him, but they were such under the gun, and Ed Snyder was still alive, so you had to sign Bridgegolov, and that turned into a disaster. But this is the Bobrovsky that I expected, even the days of when he was in Columbus, like I was saying. So good to see him bounce back. I don't think the mental hurdle has been cleared for him when he has those tough games.
I think the one guy that's excited to see Bobrovsky doing well is Jay Onrait of TSN.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And look, you have sometimes where you have a goaltender where they sometimes put on a late run like this in their career. We've seen it multiple times. You see it with Dwayne Rollison back in with Tampa and Edmonton. Yeah, Tim Thomas at 37 winning the Stanley Cup. You've seen it a couple other times as well. Just some old guys being able to just put on one final run and put it all together. And listen, he's not a spring chicken. He's 34 years old. He'll be 35 next season. And that's getting you over the hill for being a goaltender, especially at his salary. So, the fact that he could put it together now for this team and try to win a Stanley Cup, hey, good for him. That time.
And we just saw another really good save on a rebound chance, as I believe that was Howden that took that shot because Bobrovsky, he couldn't control it with his glove. And then he makes a really good save. And now we get an offsides call here, 6:30 to go in the second period. We'll see it again here on the replay. Puck bounces up in the air, and Bobrovsky actually swiped it over to Howden, and then he was able to get over. Good T-push there from Bobrovsky, and he's able to get the stick pad on it because, honestly, he doesn't get to that. That's an empty net goal for Howden.
100%. I give you credit, by the way. A nice little drop there on that T-push, by the way. That's really impressive.
I'm a former goalie. I know a T-push.
There he is. My man. Listen, I still play goal, so I
there you go. I haven't played since high school, so
okay.
I was a late bloomer. I didn't start skating until I was like 14.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I was like one of those that I just started very late.
I started because I was the fat kid they put in goal, and I actually wound up liking it.
So you were Goldberg, the goalie?
Yeah, except Goldberg was much better than I was. So man, I finally, I just enjoyed it. I love that being a goalie more than anything is the fact when you stop a puck and you piss a player off. That's the best thing.
That's the best, right? As a shot there is stopped, and now it looks like we have a delayed penalty here coming up against the Panthers. As now Vegas comes into the zone, Marchessault takes a shot, but it's offsides. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have another freaking penalty.
Of course, on who?
The flow was going so well.
You're right.
There you go.
Just when we were getting going here, it is a 2-minute interference call against Sasha Barkov. Right. That's the first time I've said that today. As we'll see it again here on the replay. Yeah, stupid penalty. He cross-checks White Cloud in the back for no reason. For literally no reason.
Yep. You don't want your captain doing that. That's not good at all.
We do have a little bit of
that. That's undisciplined. And even Paul Maurice is not happy about it. I don't blame him. Oh my God.
Paul Maurice is just like, well, that was stupid. Yeah. By the way, Andrew B is asking Scott, what's your favorite team?
Hang on a second. Let me show you here.
I think his background might give it away, but he'll show us a little
bit. There we go.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's that. I'll go with that one there. You see a little orange around the room and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
Do you wear that or no?
No, I don't wear this one. That's an old sport mask, but I had that one, and then I had my original goalie mask. This is when I was a kid.
That gives me John Van Beesbrook vibes from Florida.
That's exactly it.
Oh, there you go. Van Beesbrook in the back.
Beesbrook on the wall there. Yep,
that's awesome.
That's Beeser's helmet from the Flyers, so that's why.
Van Beesbrook was the first goalie that rocked like the full cage mask. Like like what you see in the CHL or like in college.
Exactly, an armadillo mask they were called. They were
right.
He was the only one.
He was like the first like star of that Florida franchise. And here's a fun fact: a guy who was a big contributor to that '96 team, New Jersey Devils general manager Tom Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, so, and a big part of that team, and Ed Jovanovski being a rookie, shutting down Eric Lindros in that season. That was a really impressive run by that team, and always.
Oh, it was phenomenal. So, by the way, again, just to let you guys know that there is a penalty against the Florida Panthers. It is Sasha Barkov. So now the Golden Knights are going to their 4th or 5th power play. Now I'm trying to remember 4th or 5th.
What does the stats say?
I'm blanking.
Probably their 5th.
I think it's their 5th. There's too many penalties. I don't like when
that's the point. We have to count that many. That's it's a problem.
Now, as Vegas now sets it up, as they actually can't keep it in the zone. Good play by Ekblad. As we got 5.5 minutes to go here in the second period. Minute 45 to go on the Vegas power play. Andrew B is confirming this is the 5th power play goal. Power play for Vegas, not goal. Maybe I'm speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
If they score, I've spoken into existence, and that's all I got to say. As Shea Theodore now walks the line, gets it over to the right side to Mark Stone, left side. Now over to Marchessault. He's in the left corner now. Marchessault, right face-off dot. Now to Stone behind the net. Gets it all the way over to Eichel, who almost lost the step. Now Eichel with it, right side. Eichel feeds over Marchessault with the drive, and he scores! Jonathan Marchessault! A nice little slapper through a screen beats Bobrovsky, and the Golden Knights, with their 2nd power play goal, have taken the lead. It's 2-1.
Give that man the Conn Smythe right now. I mean, seriously.
Also, I spoke it into existence.
You did.
I really did.
Got to be shooting themselves now because they lost Marchessault in the expansion draft. I mean, this is. Oh my God! They got to have a book on Bobrovsky there because they're going that backdoor play continuously up high. So they've got to see something on tape. They're going after him with that because that's the same exact thing they've tried 3 or 4 times. This one actually got through.
Can we talk about the beautiful pass saucer feed from Jack Eichel to Marchessault on that goal? Beautiful.
Well, what's my favorite phrase tonight there, Neil?
Flow
time and space.
Oh, right. Time and space.
Time and space. Listen, you let him go below the goal line. You don't press him or anything like that. It's wide open. You have 3 players looking at the puck there, not taking away anything in the passing lane. I mean, it's a great feed, but that's on the defense. They have to drop down low for that. Let Eichel go around the net. Let him force it back to the point. You cannot give them that much time and space.
Absolutely. And also Vegas, 6 for 18 in this series on the power play, 33.3%. They are 2 for 4 on the night. So that was their fourth power play of the night. As a shot from Barkov is stopped and covered by Hill. And Donnell, both goals by the Golden Knights have come via the power play. Mark Stone and now Jonathan Marchessault with his fourth goal of this final.
Mm-hmm.
Marcel, third player in the last 35 years to score in the first 3 games of the Cup final. The other 2, Steve Yzerman in 1997 and Jake Gensel back in 2017. I say back like that was a long time ago.
Did you have to say 1997? Did you have to bring that up? Did you have to bring that up? 1997.
They brought it up. Not TBS brought it up. I didn't bring up anything. Hey, you brought up Paul Correa in 2003. Okay.
Listen, that is the most legendary call ever, regardless of it was the Devils, off the floor, on the board. You couldn't.
That was great.
Goosebumps. Like John Davidson said it perfectly, not called goosebumps. I still memorize that. But I'm also a psychotic person who can remember little hockey details like that. So
yeah, it's like we didn't do well in school, but we did well in hockey history.
100%. Yep.
That's the way I look at it. As which golfer is that? Is that Greg Mac? Is that Corey Mac? Is that McIlroy? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's McIlroy. How about that? Dude, why are there so many golfers at a Florida Panthers game?
There's so many out there. There's
Brooks Koepka. He's a huge Florida Panthers fan.
He's from Jupiter.
Huge.
I think it's Jupiter.
And David Rodriguez of the FLA Cats podcast here on THPN, he actually got a picture with Koepka that like trended on Bleacher Report and everywhere.
Oh no, that's Ricky Fowler.
Ricky Fowler. This is why I don't know golf. I don't know golf. I'm sorry. I don't look. All I know is that PGA sold out to Live Golf.
Yep.
2 days ago. That's all I got.
That's Justin Thomas that they just showed on my screen. So it was
okay. So clearly we found out that Bill is a big golf guy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's true.
I am.
That is very true.
Are you gonna watch the match that's coming up with Patrick Mahomes?
I'm not a big fan of that.
Really?
I'll watch it a little bit, but I get tired of it very, very quickly. I like, even with the broadcast and how they have it mic'd up, I don't know. It's just one of those things. But yes, I am a huge golfer. I scratched off my bucket list with my dad this year. We went over to Scotland and we played the Old Course. We played St. Andrews, the Old Course, for the first time ever. And as the caddy put it, that was carrying my clubs, he's like, yeah, it's your bucket list, but as soon as you come back to the States, you're going to want to come back. And I said, you're right. I'm already planning the trip.
By the way, Jonathan Marchessault's goal, 13th of the playoffs, Eichel and Stote with assists on that one. My good buddy Dennis, also another Devils fan. Florida was supposed to stay out of the box, so Marchessault made them pay, that's for sure. Also, Donnell is asking both of you guys, do you like the reverse retro 2.0 jerseys this past season and also the NHL All-Star jerseys that we had this year as well?
So I love the All-Star jerseys. They're a throwback to the good late 90s ones, the mid-90s, like the 95, 96.
By the way, another penalty in case you want to know.
Unbelievable.
See, this time it's Alec Martinez of the Knights going to the box 2 minutes for interference.
Okay, well, that's actually out. That helps Florida. I'll take one of their top defenders out. As far as the reverse retro this year, I thought for the Flyers was terrible. Absolutely terrible. It was a white jersey with a
very
Flyers
boring.
logo. Yeah, extremely boring. You couldn't put orange on it or anything. The ones they had 2 years ago, the 90s looking one,
those were nice.
Solid.
That was very good. That was the one. That was the one they rocked during that outdoor game, right?
Yeah, where half the team couldn't play because they had COVID.
Were they also part of the game that had to like return it like at nighttime because the sun glare?
They had to start late because of the sun glare, and then they had half the team who didn't even play. It was half the AHL roster because half the team had COVID at the time, and the NHL wouldn't move it.
I hope we never have to go through another year like that ever again. I hope we never have to do that again.
Yeah.
It's just brutal. By the way, Florida's now 0-3 on the power play going into this one. They were 0-10 in the series. As now a feed in front there and a shot from Reinhart. It's stopped by Hill, and the ref blows the whistle. So Florida has not taken advantage of the man advantage so far in this Cup final. And that, I feel like, has been a difference maker as well for them.
100%. I mean, listen, you win and lose games with your special teams. I mean, Florida's down 2-1 because they have given up a lot of power play goals in this series. And look, Aiden Hill hasn't been busy tonight, but he's made the saves need to be, and that was a great play and that great save in front, just from the slot. But Florida, again, they don't play a cycle game. They need to find a way to get a dirty goal. They have to stop trying to lift the puck, get it off Aiden Hill's pads. Those true 20.2 pads. They really give up hot rebounds. Get them off a rebound and try to poke them home from there. You got to get a dirty goal in this guy.
Yeah,
you have to find a way to get something.
Yeah, you can't continue to be 0-10 on the series and 0-3 tonight so far, possibly 0-4 in the next minute and 40 seconds or so, depending on where you're at in the watching cycle. But it's just this isn't how you win the cup. This is why you're down 2-0 and potentially 3-0 after tonight.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Undisciplined play, not converting on your special teams, but this was the flaw of Florida. Florida is a hardworking team. But when you go against a fully skilled team like Vegas, this is where the problem comes in. But at the same time, you need your big players to step up. That's why I said, where's Carter Verhaeghe?
No, yeah, I think, like I said on our most recent episode of Orange and Backcheck, is the Cinderella story closing out on Florida? Like, let's not forget they're the second wild card this year. They're the unofficial 8 seed. Like, at some point, you got to remember Vegas and Boston. They were statistically easily better teams than what Florida was. So
they were number 1 seed in the West. Was Vegas. Vegas was the best seed. They were right behind
Boston.
Yeah, right behind Boston on pretty much everything. Yeah.
So there's a reason that this is like, look at what, like we were talking about earlier. I can't before I think it was before Scott even joined, like the 2 Miami teams. We got Miami Heat and Florida.
Right.
They're both 8 seeds theoretically in their respective playoffs. And they're getting demolished by better teams. And you can upset one seed. It's tough to do it a second time.
Correct.
It's true. 10 seconds to go in the Panthers power play. Not a whole lot. Just good job again from Vegas's penalty killers to just get in front and block shots. There was one good attempt. As now Stevenson with an intercept, has a step, takes a shot to the 5-hole. Now one is stopped and covered by Bobrovsky as Stevenson tried to be sneaky, but Bob makes the save. Minute 29 to go in the second. Still 2-1 Vegas.
Look, Vegas is doing really smart things. They're boxing out. They're looking for the passing lane. They're not letting anything get through. And that's how you shut down. And a power play doesn't have anything. But it is saved by Bob up here. Yeah, that's a great save by Bob. Half butterfly, read it. Just well enough to keep it in. That could have been a big thing again, but less than 2 minutes to go in the period. Not giving up a goal there would have been backbreaking. This is the fact that Bob is keeping him in this thing. He's keeping him in it.
It's true. Danelle says, hey, Neil, Bill, and Scott, did you know there were 4 straight sweeps in the finals in the 90s? Devils swept the Red Wings in 95. Avalanche swept the Panthers in 96. We'll skip over 97 because I already mentioned it. And then the Red Wings swept the Capitals in 1998. That's the first time I really realized that. Like, that is actually crazy.
Yeah.
4 straight sweeps, yep. And that was crazy. And then it was 99 where the Stars won in 6. And then
2000
it was 2000 was the Devils winning in 6. Jason Arnott going.
That was a fun conference finals in 2000.
Don't start. All right, don't start. I know it wasn't. I know. How do you have a 3-1 lead and blow the goddamn thing?
No, we have no. There's another penalty.
Less than a minute.
It's a slash.
Oh god.
We have a slash against the Panthers. I think it's Lundell going to the box with 37.8 to go in the period. So a huge opportunity for Vegas with a little time to go in this period to maybe double the lead. Again, Lundell, he breaks Barbashev's stick. What are you doing, bud?
The fact that they automatically call that a penalty every time.
They're calling anything.
To me. Yeah, I mean, as soon as the stick breaks, even if you're just putting your weight on top of it breaks, it's automatically a penalty. I hate that. I hate that. That's just not. It's not always a slash. But again, this is the referees disrupting the flow of the game. And this is actually really hurts Florida because Florida can't play their game 5-on-5.
This was a clear slash by Lundell, though.
We're not going to argue that call. That was clearly a slash.
What I'm saying, as many penalties there are tonight, I'm just saying in general, like this disrupts how a team plays. If you're constantly, you gain some momentum and all of a sudden penalty. You start gaining momentum, penalty. And like it just kills it. It kills the flow.
It does.
And it's got to be awful for the fans in the stands, really. It's got to be frustrating as anything.
This game started a little after 8:20. It's already 10 o'clock. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 3 seconds, 2 and 1. And so that'll do it for the second period of play. So the only difference in that second period was a Jonathan Marchessault power play goal, second power play goal of the night for the Golden Knights. And so Vegas now is just 20 minutes away from grabbing a 3-0 stranglehold on this series. So, guys, what did we see from that second period?
Dominance by Vegas.
The Zebras.
Yeah, I mean,
Zebras.
listen, the Zebras absolutely help, but when Vegas had the puck on the power play, Florida can't press. And when they can't press and close the gaps because they have to play positionally, it gives Vegas what, Neil?
Time and space.
So that's exactly what happens. And then Florida can't get into what, Bill?
A flow.
Oh, this is beautiful. I'm just like
you're a maestro, sir.
You're a maestro. And just it's exactly what
He's
happens.
killing. He's absolutely killing it tonight.
But like that's the key to the game here, that people, they're seeing them. It's not just the Zebras getting involved in it. It's the fact that Florida plays much better 5-on-5 because their penalty kill is not great and they can't do anything on the power play. So when you can't get established 5-on-5, you're not going to win many games. I'll say this, after that period, Vegas totally responded, but the thing is that Florida is lucky they're only down 2-1 because there were a lot of golden chances that the Knights had, no pun intended, but there was a lot of chances that the Knights had that they should have converted on, but Bob is keeping them in this game, and I think you're seeing what, the difference is that, yeah, they're only down a goal going into the third period, but listen, one goal changed this entire thing, and hopefully – it doesn't go to 4 overtimes like it did against Carolina. That would be a long day tomorrow. But still, I mean, there's a chance here, one goal, and you get to the end of the third, and we're going into overtime, which could really change the momentum of a series as well. So a lot of hockey left, but Florida's really got to find a way to start generating offense. They have 10 shots on goal, dominated by Vegas in that period. They've got to find a way to stay out of the box, stay 5-on-5, and play their game.
Absolutely.
Hashtag
absolutely. So that was good. That was good. I'm sorry. That was good to drop it right at the end. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been more or less like a pretty good, it's a low scoring game. It's pretty much still up for grabs for anybody. The Panthers were the better team in the first, Golden Knights were the better team in the second. And now it's about who's going to want it more in this final 20 minutes. And we'll see if it's going to need more than that. But before we continue on here, because we got some really good things to talk about in the second intermission report, we're going to step aside for another moment to get another word from our sponsors at DraftKings Sportsbook. And welcome everybody here to our second intermission report of our game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Here again alongside my good friends Bill and Scott from the Orange and Backcheck podcast, which covers the Philadelphia Flyers here on THPN. My name is Neil Villapiano, the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, covering the New Jersey Devils here on THPN. And after 40 minutes of play, thanks to a Jonathan Marchessault power play goal, it is 2-1 Vegas after 40 minutes of play. And I should also mention, we had it here on our commercial break. We are doing a live watch-along extravaganza of the NHL draft on June 28th. So you guys do not want to miss out on that one. It's going to be an absolute blast. So make sure you guys check it out when we get around to it. But again, guys, what do you think so far from both teams after 40?
So, like I said, Florida really had the momentum in the first period, getting that goal early, generating a little bit of scoring chances, some really great chances they couldn't cash in on. Great first period by Florida. And then all of a sudden, the penalties started coming. Penalties started coming on both teams. Florida is not a team that really can play on special teams, whether it's on the power play or the penalty kill. They're not good at either. Not great at either. Let's put it that way. So once the penalties start happening, that really benefits Vegas. And Vegas really showed that in the second period. They got that goal in the first period. They scored late in the second. Now, the whole point for Vegas is that they have the, what is it, Neil?
Time and space.
Yeah, when they have time and space,
sorry,
that's okay. That's okay. That's
time
no
and
good.
Space for flow. The answer is time and space or flow.
Well, right. Bill's got flow. You got time and space. So we're all set there. So what happens is that when they're on the power play, they have a lot more room to work with and cycle and play their game. And Florida got caught puck watching, pass by Eichel goes right through it, and there it is. Florida has to find a way to either beat that passive box that they're setting up in the slot on the power play if they get a chance. But really, the ultimate thing is this is a one-goal game. As bad as Florida was in that second period, disciplinary-wise and penalty kill-wise, they still are only down one goal, and they have every chance here to get right back in this thing.
Yeah, first off, King Henry is on my screen. That is a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man. Absolutely
He is gorgeous in that suit. My God, I don't have any shame in saying that. That is a great looking man.
He looks like he can still play.
Yes, he does. I was actually just to say the same thing.
He looks like he's in his 20s. Like he's in late 20s, early 30s. And that's a 40-year-old man right there. Yeah. Quite dapper.
One of the
how is he never on GQ? Like he ever been on?
I was absolutely. He was. Oh yeah. He was on
GQ. All right, cool. I just want to make sure he was. Yeah.
Anyway, Florida's just playing way too undisciplined. Like I know we're complaining about all the penalties and all the refs getting involved.
So.
Look at all of these penalties; they're pretty legit outside of the one hooking call on both sides. Like they had bad hookings holdings, hooking or holding, whatever, which take your pick. These have been really bad. Like Florida is not playing, like Scott said right before intermission, Bobrovsky's the only one keeping this team in the game right now. Like he's playing very, very well. And they're just taking, why are you slashing right in front of the net in game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final? What are you doing, man? And giving Vegas a chance, because Vegas will destroy you. And they are on the power play. They're 2 for 4, 2 for 5 at this point. And Florida's 0 for 10, 0 for 4 or tonight, whatever it is. Like, it's not sustainable. Again, has the chariot finally turned back into a pumpkin? I think it has.
Yeah, I mean, right now it just kind of seems like so far in this series, like for the most part, this just doesn't seem like the Florida team that we had been seeing the last 3 rounds. This seems like a Florida team that either is running out of gas or they've met their match. They've just met a team that is not fazed by what Florida does, is not backing down. They seem to be like, however physical Florida wants to get, Vegas is going to push back. If they want to make this a track meet, they're going to do that. And I think for Florida, they're kind of stunned by it a little bit. Like, oh, we can't just, push these guys around and make noise. It's like, oh, wait, we actually are getting matched in everything that we do.
Yeah, they're not allowing Vegas is not allowing Florida to play their game. They're not allowing them to get in and generate a forecheck and be disruptive. They're playing very, very solid defensively, not giving
Right.
away those cross-ice passes. And when finally things get to the net, listen, I'm not a huge fan of Adin Hill overall, but he's made the saves he need to make, and you need to give him credit for that. He has kept his team in this game, and he's made a couple really solid stops, even though he hasn't been overly busy. He's been solid, and really at the end of the day, when you have a team as skilled as Vegas, you really just need solid goaltending. You don't need great goaltending. You need solid goaltending to get you to where you want to go, and that's what Adin Hill's providing them right now. And you know that it shows. Like you don't need a stud goaltender to win and to win in this league. And you know, look at Darcy Kemper last year, Jordan Binnington the year before that. You know, you don't always need a stud goaltender to really win you a Stanley Cup final game. Oh, geez.
I don't know if you guys see this or not, but this is a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, you got claimed in the expansion draft from Florida.
Yeah, from Florida.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Well, it's brutal.
This is what Florida Panthers nightmares look like right now.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's tough. It's tough, but I want to kind of shift things here because Bill, you and I were talking about, and we promised Danelle that we were going to bring this up. And let me just find the question because he asked this before, and it's about the fact, and this is perfect timing because you have a Devils guy and two Flyers guys. It was announced last week officially that both teams will be playing against one another in the 2024 Stadium Series. February 17th at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the home of the New York Jets and the New York Giants. And so, for Philly, this is their fourth outdoor game? Question mark? Fourth?
Might be their
fifth.
Oh,
yeah.
Fifth.
Yeah.
So fifth.
Boston twice, the Rangers, Pittsburgh once.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but so it's their sixth. No, Pittsburgh's twice because they played in Pittsburgh, they played in Philadelphia.
Okay, so it is their sixth.
Boston twice. And then the Rangers at home, so this is their sixth outdoor game.
Wow, so for the Flyers, it's their sixth. For the Devils, it's just their second. Their first since 2014. They also have the Rangers against the Islanders Sunday night, the 18th, following. So Gary Bettman said this is an unprecedented opportunity to have multiple outdoor games, although he did it already when he did.
Yeah, what the hell is he? What?
Yeah, he was explaining it like we've never done this before. I'm like, buddy, 2014, you did two games as well. Like you're not doing anything that's hasn't been done already. But MetLife Stadium was kind of an obvious choice of venue. It's the only one in that area that hasn't been used yet in terms of a big stadium. But yeah, guys, we're gonna have an opportunity for both of our teams to go up against one another in an outdoor game.
Yeah, I love the aspect of the outdoor game. I think, and I know Scott will say the same sentiment. Like, I think it's been watered down a little bit, but I think they need to lean into this. Like, look, I know you're trying to like as Florida gets better, you'll try and incorporate them. The Winter Classic next year is going to be Vegas and Seattle, and that's fine because you're trying to get the attention drawn on these two the newest expansion teams.
Right.
I think you kind of just got to say, screw the other teams that are not drawing an audience and just lean into the Washingtons, the Flyers, the Bostons of the world, and the New Yorks and say, this is who we need to have in these outdoor games. And that's what they're doing. Making it a true stadium series where it's night one is New York or New Jersey and Philly, and then night two is New York Islanders and New York Rangers. I think that's the way to do it because that's the only way this thing survives. It's, 6 outdoor games now at this point, it seems like?
I think a lot of people are saying like there's too many outdoor games. I don't think it's that it's too many. I think it's just, and I say this all the time with promotion in general, I just don't think the NHL does a good enough job of making it more exciting for people. Like in the Devils community, we've talked about it for weeks. We're just thrilled that we have an outdoor game. Like this is something we've been hoping for. We heard about it 4 or 5 months ago that the NHL was considering it. We actually thought it was going to be Devils Rangers, but they were like, "Oh, we've already done that." I'm like, "Yeah, you've already done Rangers Islanders too."
Yeah,
and you've done, no disrespect to you guys, you've done Flyers Bruins twice. You've done Flyers, let's get can I have a Columbus Blue Jackets outdoor game for once? I just want to see it. I just want to see what happens. Just give me one.
Yeah.
Like Seattle against Vegas, is that a Winter Classic material? Personally, no.
But if Vegas wins the cup, it's a little bit more enticing.
In Seattle, in Seattle, I can see. Yeah, the one.
And also, why is it not at Lumen Field? Also, I want to know that they decide. Oh, we're going to play it in the baseball stadium instead.
Oh, it is. I thought it was at Lumen Field.
No, they said it's at the.
Oh, that's a disaster.
I'm like, come on.
Well, hang on. I guess theoretically, if the Seahawks are going to the playoffs and they're close to the playoffs, then that would make sense. That makes sense.
I don't care.
But I agree with you. I agree.
No, I don't care. And I don't think I get it though. I'm just saying it's what, dude. Are the Seahawks going deep in the playoffs? Probably not. I'm sorry. They have Geno Smith.
I make your point. I see the logistics side of it, but I disagree. It shouldn't be in the baseball stadium. You can have it in the damn thing. So
I mean,
that's
why
Donnell's right. Donnell's absolutely right.
Donnell's absolutely right.
Yep, he's absolutely right. You need to give other teams an outdoor opportunity as well.
I'll take an outdoor game. Like I said, this is the first time since 2014 for the Devils, and it makes sense. The Devils are obviously a team on the up and up. They're exciting. They have a lot of really enticing pieces. Like this, makes sense. Mm-hmm. Makes total sense. Yep. The Rangers, you've done enough. Okay, you've done enough. Like
Pittsburgh, Washington, they've all
Pittsburgh, Washington, enough.
It's every other year with them.
Here's a good example. Chicago. Have they ever won an outdoor game? Yes or no?
No, they've not. Actually.
No, they've gotten blown out every time they played in it.
Yeah,
the Flyers have only won once, and it was during the 2019 at the Link.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, so
it's just I went to the Winter Classic this past year in Boston. By the way, great job. But again, we've already done Fenway. Mm-hmm. We've done it. We don't have to go back. We never have. We don't Correct. I want more. I want more teams, and I want more venues because I feel like we're missing things here. We're missing
and not like the Kings and Ducks at Dodger Stadium. I'm sorry, that doesn't have the same spectacle to it. Come on, you cannot play outdoor ice hockey in Southern California.
I'll tell you the worst one for me. It was Sharks Kings at the 49ers Stadium.
Oh yeah, Levi.
This is so boring.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not exciting. And also, I'm sure you guys are hoping as well. I really hope they don't screw up the jerseys. I'm scared. I'm worried. I saw what Carolina did. I saw what the Capitals did, and I'm like, I'm scared. I'm very scared.
Yeah. I want them to go back.
With all due respect, you can't do any worse than the jersey and the jersey pants.
Oh, you know what?
Hat. It literally is a jersey that says Jersey. Exactly. That's my point. I mean, it's hilarious. You can't get any worse than that. I mean, it's a joke.
I have people that are like, can we have pants that just say pants? Yes. I want that.
I really like the Flyers 2012 Winter Classic when they played against New York Rangers
But that was Reebok.
Yeah, I know, but I like that color orange. I want them.
No, I'm saying Reebok did a good job back then.
Yeah.
I don't know, Adidas has done a good job in terms of certain quality, but I don't know, the design sometimes I feel like we're missing out on. You know how many times I'm on Instagram and I see graphic designers make their own makeup and I'm like, why is this so much better than we actually get?
Right. You know what? The genius thing the NHL could do is have a contest and have people design the jerseys. That would be great promotion for the league. And that would get people interested and saying, hey, these are the top designs that people vote on. And then they make that damn jersey. That's getting your fans involved. That's that simple.
Nailed it right on the head. I know the Devils did that this past year with the warm-up jerseys for every major promotional night. Not promotional night, big night, Pride Night, all
military
fan appreciation.
Yeah,
they had a fan. They had some fan designer make it. It was really a cool thing. By the way, the third period of our game, Game 3, Stanley Cup Finals, is underway here. Vegas Golden Knights, first team since the 1980 Islanders with 2 power play goals in 3 consecutive Stanley Cup Finals games.
Oh my God,
that's ridiculous.
17 straight postseason wins for the Vegas Knights after leading after 2 periods.
Dude, shout out to the stats people, okay?
Right?
Shout out to the stats people. They need to be paid more than what they're making because the stats that they find are insane sometimes.
Yep. It's very true. It's very true. Yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights are 18-0 when they play on this side of the ice 23% of the time. Like, it's true. They find
It's like it works. It works 23% of the time, all the time. It's a great save there by Bobrovsky off a shot from Haig, and then Lundell comes out of the box. So the Golden Knights cannot score in that power play. It still remains 2-1 Vegas. So a good start here if you're Florida, killing off the rest of that power play as a pass in front there, and Hill with a good stick play. Ekblad keeps it in. Lundell, that one deflects to Hill and he'll cover. So
they hit the post from that Bobrovsky shot. They might have hit the post.
Did it hit the post?
It looked like it might have hit the post.
Amadio, no, it was just a good shoulder left arm save from Bobrovsky on the shot from Amadio. So that was a good save there. Again, Bobrovsky, man, you got to feel for him. Like, I know he had 2 bad games, right? He didn't play all that particularly well certainly in game 2. But he has bounced back in waves here in game number 3.
Correct. I thought he played well in game 1. Game 2, it wasn't on him. That's the defense that really – Florida was all over the place in game 2. Tonight, Bob has really shown what the difference is. Yeah, you're right. They went off the shoulder there. Great save there. Good read. Pass across. Good push. Good recovery off the shoulder.
I don't know if you guys saw this comment, by the way, from my good buddy Connor, who's a Canucks fan. It says, please tell them Travis Konecny is a grub and that needs to be put in his place by my Canucks next encounter.
Listen, we don't.
What if the Canucks want him? What if the Canucks want TK?
That's a good. Yeah, I think Bill. I think you mentioned that Konecny might be on the move as well from Philadelphia.
I'm fascinated by this. I think it was Elliot Freeman that first reported it. That they're shopping him. Similar to what they're doing with Carter Hart, because like I said at the broadcast, and I'd love to get Scott's thoughts, because I know especially now, like literally less than 24 hours after we recorded our latest episode, they moved Provy and the Carter Hart rumors started to move. I still think there's a better chance that he stays on the team unless Briere is absolutely blown away.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, they're dumb if they trade him now. Honestly, they're dumb. If you had to get blown away, you need like a Leon Draisaitl, basically, like essentially for me to move a strong goaltender like Carter Hart, because that's where you build your team back to front. Look, the Canadians tried to move Carey Price after the 2009 season or 2009-2010 season because Halak had taken him over. They wound up moving Halak instead. I think the best thing for this team to do, the Flyers anyway, would be to have Urson and Carter Hart play next season, then make your decision then. If you're really concerned about 2, you can't just hand the keys off to one of them. Cal Peterson's not going to be able to carry this team.
Oh, yeah, Cal Peterson. Yeah, he's on the Flyers now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And there was rumors that Cal Peterson's agent was under the impression that they will be moving Carter Hart because of this. So it's very odd. It's a very I don't know.
It'll definitely be something, I'm sure the Flyers will be a very interesting team to see what they do during this offseason in terms of, reshaping the roster. As puck comes out in front here in Florida, will come the other way. There's also a couple comments I wanted to bring to light as well in the next stoppage and play while we were talking about the outdoor game before we started this third period, because there was just some interesting things. PJ Jones brought this up. He said Carolina averaged 19,000 and Carter Finley, home of NC State football, which is where that outdoor game stadium series was this past year, is right next door to PNC. Outdoor game is perfect for Canes to host. That was a really electric atmosphere in Carolina.
I think Carolina just has an incredible fan base too.
They do.
Like it's one of the best. I want to get down there. I've been to Raleigh once. I've been to Charlotte once.
It's a good example of that, by the way. Sam Wallace from the Caniac Report here on THPN, which covers the Carolina Hurricanes. Good to see you, Sam. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it, my friend. Also,
Look,
I'm not going to say sorry for getting swept by the Florida Panthers. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad after losing in 5 in the second round. I don't feel bad.
Listen, I love the fact that the Carolina, they have fun down there. The celebrations after they win, the bunch of jerks thing, they embrace that. Carolina really has an in-tune. Carolina's really in tune with their team and their fan base. And I tell you what, even when Carolina wasn't that great, it was still the same thing. It's always been a strong market. A really smart move from there. To move from Hartford back in the day. It's really grown down there.
Yeah.
In the game.
Unlike the fan base that has a team in the final right now in Florida. I don't think their fan base is fake. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They have a fake fan base. I mean, but it's also not their fault.
It's really hard to sit there. Like
exactly.
we're not trying to be disrespectful to Panthers fans who are like legit, like our good buddy David. Like, it's legit Panthers fans out there. It's just like throughout even the playoffs. Like I remember in 2012 when the Devils played the Panthers in the first round of the playoffs, like they were not selling out their games.
No.
Even game 7, like it wasn't sold out.
Yeah, they went to double overtime in game 7 too. That was a tight series. That should have been a better team, better attendance than they had.
That was a great 7-game series.
It really was.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
First round.
Who scored that goal? Was it David Clarkson?
Adam Henrique.
Yeah. Turn, shot, 5-hole, Jose Theodore, and then you see the shot of Dale Talon just like slumped over in the thing. There you go, Henrique. Yeah, and Henrique.
I got this, guys. I got this at a Goodwill store for $1.
That is awesome. It's
and just sitting there, and I'm like, what? Like, how is this? Why is this here?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Henrique that ended the what's it called? The first round against the Panthers, and then the third round against the Rangers.
It's the Rangers. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I know way too much about this damn game. I really.
And then David Clarkson had the funny goal against
Brzgalov. Yes. That's why I thought of Clarkson. It like bounced and went in off the. Yep.
That was. Yeah, I still remember being pissed for 48 hours after the Danny Briere goal in game 1. I was like, that was
when
totally
disallowed it, and then they did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that was goal interference, and then it was like, okay, we'll just win the next 4.
I'll tell you what the craziest one ever for me was. I was at game 4 or game 3 when Carcillo scored in overtime in 2010. That was amazing because the puck squirted out, nobody ever saw it, and Carcillo just looking at an empty net. Remember, I'll never forget that. Because half of the arena started jumping up and nobody had any idea the puck was in the net. And then the rest of the team arena went nuts. It was great.
Anyway. I think it was also that Patrick Kane goal was so weird.
That's the weirdest game-winning goal.
I love the Doc Emrick call. He's like, "What chaos?"
Yeah.
It rattled around and they score. Yeah.
Because Patrick Kane's the only one celebrating. He jumps into Anthony Emmy's arms, and Anthony Emmy's still like, "Wait, what?
What's going on here?" Yeah, they had no idea.
Like, did we win?
No yeah.
And then they created a second celebration after they were like, "Oh yeah, that puck went in the net."
I know a lot of people who were at the game that said they never showed the replay. They never showed the puck on net. Everybody was so confused because they never showed the puck going into the net.
Yeah, but that's also home ice. Like, that's just the tricks and play. This isn't just the Flyers production element. This is all around the fan base. Like, not if you see it at football games or anything like that, if you're not seeing the replay of a controversial call, it's going against the team that you are in the stadium of. So like that sucks, especially because the circumstances of the goal in that scenario. But I understand why they didn't want to show it. And it was just a confusing moment. I still remember just going, where did the puck go? But at the end of it, you're just like, well, obviously, if we don't know where the puck is, there's only one place it can be, and that's in the net.
In the net, yeah, exactly. By
the way, Danelle wanted us to mention Blue Jackets, Kraken, and that'll change. The Winter Classic. Panthers and Coyotes are the only teams that have not played an outdoor game.
Coyotes don't matter. Who cares? Like,
you mean the Nordiques, right?
Yeah, when they move back and they're the new Nordiques, like then fine. But
I think Florida's going to be the next one on this list.
Florida,
the Coyotes,
2025.
The Coyotes, who originally the new Quebec Nordiques, which are originally the Winnipeg Jets, with all the old Winnipeg Jets records.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? Yeah. Do you guys think? By the way, this is a good point. Do you think the long time off for Florida after sweeping Carolina? Do you think that is a factor at all in this series for them?
Absolutely. 100%. 100. You lose that momentum a little bit. You lose that edge. And the fact that they even though they established in game 1, game 2, you could clearly see that they were trying too hard. They were gripping their sticks a little too tight. They weren't playing set. And they're trying to claw back again. They have to get in that mindset that their season is on the line to really find that edge again. And Vegas, it's going to have to find that killer instinct because, they really have to find a way to keep Florida off because Florida's not going to go away. The more that they play 5-on-5, The more they play even like they have in this period, the more that Florida has the chances and the more they get the momentum.
Exactly. 13 and a half minutes to go in this third period. Still 2-1. Vegas is a shot there in the slot from Karlsson is saved and cleared out after a great save from Bobrovsky. Oh, Karlsson wide open in the slot, but an even better save from Bobrovsky on that one.
The refs completely missed it. Too many men on the ice on Florida, by the way.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they totally missed that, yeah.
Right. So yeah, let's call everything else, but miss that one.
Yeah, and it was blatant too. Like it wasn't like, oh, a guy stepped on the ice a little bit too soon or too quickly. Oh, wow. That's the save by Bobrovsky. That's a nice one.
That was a great
save.
That
was a good save. Mark Stahl now a little bit behind. Little bit behind.
I think, Scott, you're on YouTube TV as well, right?
No. I'm on the TNT app. I'm at 13:09 right now. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a little bit behind.
12:45 to go as Tkachuk throws it in front of Bennett, and he gets hooked, and that's going to be a penalty against Vegas. Delayed coming up, and now it's touched up. It's a hook against the Golden Knights, and let's see who it is. I think it's Jack Eichel that might be going off.
Wow.
At least they showed Eichel. Yeah, I think it is Jack Eichel.
12 times the charm maybe on the power play.
So number 9 hooks number 9. So that was 9-on-9 crime, by the way. Sam Bennett was the one that drew that penalty.
If I'm Florida, I throw.
I don't know why I noticed that. I don't know why I noticed
9-on-9 crime. I love that. I really
9-on-9 crime. Sam Bennett with the best playoff beard probably left in the playoffs, other than maybe Radko Gudas.
Too bad Brent Burns isn't playing anymore with that.
Too bad Joe Thornton isn't playing.
Oh my God, Joe Thornton had a playoff beard because he's never won in the playoffs. So never won a cup. That's really why he had the beard like that.
It's true. So now let's see what Florida could do here. Again, they are 0 for 4 on the power play, as now they'll start it here as they get over to Verhaeghe with a shot that deflects up into the right corner. Barkov gets it over to Tkachuk. He tries to tuck from behind there, and that one was sticked away by Hill. Tkachuk now with it again. Waits. Still with it. Little bunched up in the right corner. Tries to get it top of the point. Intercepted by Nicholas Waugh. Might be a 2-on-1 for Vegas coming the other way. Stevenson takes a shot, and that one goes wide at Bobrovsky. And now Verhaeghe comes the other way for Florida. Drops it off to Tkachuk. Now he drops it top of the point to Montour. Montour now over to Barkov. Now a drive from Montour, and his stick shattered, or he whiffed on the shot. And then Vegas clears. Jeez, that is a break there because Montour had a lot of space to take that, a lot of time and space to take that shot.
Yeah, I'm seeing Carhier drop off there, back to the point. Let's see what happens here.
So now Chuck loses it, and Stevenson will clear again with 1 minute to go on the Florida power play. This kind of feels like it's been a little bit more open for Florida, but again, like they're not able to get a whole lot on net. Just good defensive play from Vegas as Tkachuk now in the right corner. Over now to Barkov. Back to Tkachuk. Wade shoots that, and that one is fought off by Hill. Florida trying to control it now. Gets it top of the point. Drive from Forsling goes wide. Tkachuk throws it in front. Can't get it. Lundell gets to it. Now over to Bennett. He takes a drive that's blocked. Over to Ekblad. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Bennett gets it now to Forsling. Now chips it over to Ekblad. Now to Forsling. Drive from Bennett. And that one is gloved and covered by Hill with 16 seconds to go on the Florida power play. 10:54 to go in the third. Still 2-1 Vegas.
What I'm noticing here on this power play is that Florida is really trying to carry through the blue line on their zone entries. And Vegas is collapsing 3 guys on them. And that's not – they're not cycling well enough. They're going to have to get to the blue line and send another forechecker in and dump it down low and generate something that way. They're going to have to find a way to draw Vegas down low and get it back to the points. They had that great chance with Montour there, but he whiffed on it. But they have to do that with more speed. They cannot match the speed by carrying it in the neutral zone if they're not going to try to dump it and force Vegas out of position. They're not being nearly creative enough on the power play as they need to be.
No, they are not, as the power play comes to an end for Florida. So again, still with that donut when it comes to scoring on the power play, as Eichel comes out of the box, Vegas comes in, tip in front there by Karlsson, is stopped and covered by Bobrovsky as he makes the save there. Great save by Bobrovsky on that one. We'll see again here. Just again, Another thing I've noticed as well, I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but there are too many times where as the power play comes to an end for Florida, Vegas gets like just a great opportunity to come the other way, like right out of the box.
Yeah.
Well, they're forcing it. Florida's trying to force something to it to the end. And when they do, they're caught out of position. Look at the last play. You had 4 guys right in front of Aiden Hill. You had 4 guys literally within 2 feet of Aiden Hill. And then what happens is the puck bounces out the other way. Vegas is going to use their speed and transition off the rush, and that's what one of their strengths is. So that Florida's got to be really careful about that, because if they keep playing with fire, they're going to get burned. And Bobrovsky, you can only ask him to do so much. He's made probably 3 saves in this period that were just ridiculous so far. So, but you can't rely on your goaltending like that all the time. You can't just depend on Bob to bail you out every single time, because at some point Vegas is going to cash in.
I think we have a little bit of an ice malfunction in the crease of Bobrovsky as the refs are trying to figure that out. By the way, guys, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals will be Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on TNT or TBS. I, unfortunately, will not be doing that game. I'm actually going to be in Cleveland. I'm doing a quick little trip to going to see a Guardians game and also going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And also, I'm gonna go see the USFL. New Jersey Generals are taking on the Philly Stars in that game on Sunday night. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys are USFL fans or not.
You ever see that video? You ever see that video, the hastily made Cleveland tourism video? Yeah, welcome to Cleveland town, everyone. Come and check out both of our buildings. Like every time I is Cleveland, I think of that. Like it is nice. It is great. YouTube it. It's absolutely hilarious.
I gotta find it. By the way, Sam, thank you so much for the compliment. I do appreciate it. I do try my best.
I agree. You're doing a hell of a job doing play-by-play tonight, Neil. I give you
also
props for that.
Is this a compliment? I think it's a compliment, right? He says Neil reminds me of old Monday Night Football. I don't think I have the same charisma as Howard Cosell. I don't know.
This is Howard Cosell. Here he is with the football, going back the other way, and the team wins the football game. Excellent job.
You ever heard him get interviewed, by the way? He's the same voice. Literally same. He talks that way.
Yeah, I know.
He was like, there will always be a place.
The Florida Panthers playing on the game of ice hockey.
Oh, dude, I would have loved to see like a Howard Cosell like doing hockey highlights. And the hitting is brutal. God.
It would be incredible. It would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I know. Incredible. And the hitting is brutal. As we have a delay game, a icing here against Florida with 10:09 to go in the third, and I'm wondering right now what the feeling is on the Panthers bench, guys. Again, it's only 2-1, but you've had some chances, especially on the power play, and you haven't converted much of anything against Aiden Hill or this Vegas defense.
Look, I think with this team, excuse me, the way that they've been through everything, being down 2-1 late against Boston in Game 7, they're calm, they're collected, they're confident they're going to come back. With a couple minutes left, you'll start to see that push a little bit more. They'll really start to put them back on their heels. I just think that they're making sure they don't make any mistakes. They'll take their risks with about probably 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of the way you got to approach it here. I think right now, I don't think it's time to necessarily get like ultra desperate, but I think you got to start just throwing everything at the net. As speak of that, Florida trying to keep it in. Forsling, what a great job there. Otherwise, Marchessault would have been off to the races. Buck goes back down into the Florida zone, and now Anthony Duclair and Gudis and Barbashev both pushing and shoving in front of the Vegas bench. We'll see if there's any calls there. I don't think. It's Gudis without his helmet, and I think Gudis, this has got to be because he's pissed off about that hit he got when he got hurt back in Game 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely some.
Also, a nice hit by Eichel on White moments ago, so the physicality pick it up here in this third.
Yeah, and Florida had a really good chance about 30 seconds ago. Really had a good chance in front of the net. They just couldn't get a stick on it.
So we get a stoppage of play here. So again, it's just I'm just happy that it's not a blowout because we've seen so many blowouts in these playoffs, and I'm just glad it's a back and forth game.
Yeah, nice and tight. the way you like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
It's
the
a
way to
good
do it.
flow.
Right.
It's a good
Correct.
flow.
Yes. Thank you. Exactly. Using the verbiage. I love it. I absolutely love it. And remind me afterwards too. I gotta still tell you that story about Glenn Sather and Sean Avery. I wanted to.
We have a commercial break. Can you get through it in a commercial break or no?
So I'll try to get it as quickly as possible. So I went to a Flyers game back in 2008.
Yeah.
I was in college and I was a little rowdy back then. You know how it was. So the Flyers wound up losing. They get shut out by Steve Valiquette. Of course, they always got shut out by Steve Valiquette.
I'm sorry, real quick. I hate Steve Valiquette. I think he's a crappy. I think he's really bad at his job. He makes terrible takes. I just want to point that out. Continue.
So what wound up happening was they get shut out. And then we go outside, and my buddy and I used to do a little heckling. Well, Sean Avery had gotten in a fight in that game and came out. We used to go to see the players walk to the bus. Came out with a cast on his hand. Now, I mean, you obviously know I got a big mouth. I talk a lot. So I have a very loud voice. So I just yelled, "Hey, Avery!" And he looked right at me. And I said, "What, did you break your hand jacking off?" And he didn't do anything. And he looks at me with the cast and big grin on his face, and he flips me the bird. It was great.
That's great.
And then the next stop, which I'll tell you the story about what
happened. By the way,
Barbashev
and Gudas got coincidental minor penalties for that little pushing. I don't know why Barbashev got a penalty because he really wasn't. He didn't instigate that, nor was he trying to go after Gudas on that. But I mean, 4-on-4 here for the next 2 minutes with 9:15 and ticking to go in this third. Again, Vegas up 2-1, and they are up 2-0 in this series. So if they hold on, they will take a 3-0 lead with a chance to close it out on Saturday night. If Florida can come back and win this, then they at least force a Game 5 back in Vegas and an opportunity in Game 4 to try to even the series up. And right now, I'm just like looking at that bench of Florida and wondering who's going to be the guy that's stepping up.
Tkachuk or Verhaeghe. I got money on them.
I mean, it seems like Tkachuk is he's had a couple of decent like passes, but maybe that injury really is affecting him more than we think.
I'd like to see Sasha Barkov do something too. I
want to see. Where is Barkov in this game? I want to see him get going here. As Stevenson gets around with a shot, and he just shot that wide. He had a step on the defense, almost got it going, but Petrangelo can't keep it in for Vegas. They'll have to retreat.
If you go back to that penalty too, the reason I think Barbashev got it as they were falling down, Barbashev grabbed Gudas and pulled him down and ripped his helmet off.
Oh, okay.
I think that's why he responded to that.
As now Mark Stone almost got it to Petrangelo. Now Duclair chips it over now to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe waits, gets it over to Gustav Forsling. Forsling into the zone, waiting, throws it over to the right side. Nobody home. And now Jack Eichel picks it up for Vegas. They might have a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Eichel, he loses the puck to Verhaeghe, and now the puck comes out the other way. Ekblad will stop, get it over off the bench, and now Vegas will control it here with 7.5 minutes to go in this one. The one thing I will say about some of these Panthers fans is that they're standing up the entire time, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Doing a great.
I loved it in Columbus a couple of years ago. Like the whole arena just stood up the entire game. I'm like, thank you.
Well, that's because they have to dodge the cannonball when it's overfired.
I know so many people that have talked about like whenever they've gone to a game there and it fires off, like you can't help but flinch.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It just and it's like you can't help but be like, oh, geez, like that's lovely.
Like we scored, and then you pretend to duck, and you're like, yeah,
right.
I love it when the broadcasters are talking, and then the camera they like it comes up, and you can hear it in their voice, like, and a show, okay,
yep,
like it was good save.
And on the Columbus feeds, they'll go to it. Every time they score, they'll go to it before it blows up, and that's what's cool there.
That is
cool. The Lightning Arena, Amalie Arena, they have a lightning coil at the top of it that shoots down.
That's cool.
That it's really awesome. That's a really good to see game.
I love when NHL teams like figure out like they know their area, they know their team like really well, and they know what works for the fans. Like, it's even funny like I don't know if they still do it, but even the Coyotes, like they had the song like "Werewolves Are Coming" when they would score, like after they would score, it'd be like, and I'm like, that kind of works. Like,
Exactly.
The Madhouse on Madison for Chicago. That's always been a good one.
Yep.
There's just several that like really work.
The
Vegas
Bruins
Lights
using-
for Vegas, I think, is a good one too.
Oh yeah, like Vegas and with the sounds that they make when they score goals, like the slot machines, that's fantastic. Boston using the same goal song for the last 20 years has been awesome. Like there's a lot of good traditional stuff around the league.
Chicago has used Chelsea Dagger forever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
I think. The Rangers have had the same one, which, by the way, it's one of the most annoying ones out there.
Oh my god! Did you guys see the video after the Devils beat the Rangers in Game 7? We're outside the arena singing the Rangers song. Like, yeah,
we were doing that. Yeah, we were having a good time. That was our Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah. So was Toronto beating Tampa, first time in 20 years.
Yeah, but we get a pass because this was our first time doing it. This was not the 15th time with this core that we finally got past the first round.
Exactly. At least you guys built some experience this year with it. That'll,
exactly.
Jack Hughes on the team will build upon this and learn from it and move forward with it.
Yeah, we'll be good. We just got to figure out Jesper, Brad, and Timo. I don't know. That's gonna be fun.
You got to figure out your goaltending too. You got to figure out your goaltending. I
think we've established a long-term goaltender in Akira Schmid. Vitek. I think rolling with Schmid and Vitek is good. I don't know. Like, I don't want to spend a huge amount for Connor Hellebuck.
Well, what about Mackenzie Blackwood? I know he's been hurt.
He can be fired into the sun. He's not coming back. If we get anything for him, trading him, I will be happy.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to work anymore. He's too injury prone. And the other thing is that when he's good, he's very good. But when he's terrible, he's really terrible.
Oh yeah, we had that in Steve Mason. We get you.
Yeah.
We understand. Yeah.
Steve, one of the few right-handed glove goalies of the last couple of years, right? He had the glove in his right hand, correct?
Full right goalie. Yep.
Full right goalie. Yeah.
Yep. There's a couple other ones too. There's Charlie Lindgren. There's
Charlie Lindgren. There's now an icing here against. We have an icing here against Vegas. By the way, 4:45. I think this has been the fastest moving period of the three.
Yeah, no calls whatsoever.
It's only been going on for maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
So we're really kind of moving and grooving here a little bit. Do you guys think Florida's going to tie it up, or do you think Vegas is going to lock it down?
Well, I might have the score right that I predicted.
I think you might have the score right, Bill.
But it might just be on the opposite end when I had Florida winning 3-1. But they're going to pull Bob in the next
2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah, 2
2 minutes, yeah. We'll keep an eye on Bobrovsky here as we get closer to the end of this one. Is now Marchessault might have a 2-on-1. Here he comes, feeds it over, shot, and that one goes wide. I think it actually might have hit the post on a shot from Ivan Barbashev. Oh, that was a great opportunity to put the game on ice. Jonathan Marchessault with a great saucer feed to Barbashev, but he could not bury it here as. Again, they showed it in fast. We'll see it again here on the replay. He did. He hit the top bar. He had Bobrovsky beat.
Yep. But hit the bar and went out of play. Yep. Absolutely.
We do have a commercial break, Scott. So I don't know if you want to get into the Glenn Sather story real quick.
Okay. So the Glenn Sather story is the same game. Right after I flipped off Sean Avery flipped me off, which I was so psyched about. That was really cool. The fact that he looked at me with a big smile on his face, knew I was talking smack and did it right back was a thing of beauty. Now, there was a video years ago of Glenn Sather. A kid asked him for his autograph, and Glenn Sather told him to piss off. Legit told him to piss off. Now, I'm not surprised that Glenn Sather is probably one of the biggest.
Glenn Sather, right?
Yeah, Glenn Sather. So I saw Glenn Sather. And I just yell, "Yo, Glenn!" And he looks right at me. I told him, "Piss off!" And he turns and he looks at me and goes, "You can kiss my ass." I'm like, that's great, man. I just got told off by a player and their GM in the same game. It was great. And it was hilarious because right after that, next thing you know, 2 cops walk by, and I'm next to a Ranger fan, and they grab the Ranger fan and say, "What the hell are you doing? Knock this crap off!" And I'm like, "I'm getting out of here. I'm just walking away." True story. You can ask my buddy. It was great. It was.
I feel like that's also like a classic like Philly sports story as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Like, that's awesome.
That's how
Also-
you troll.
Also, as a Nets fan, can you guys take Ben Simmons back? I don't want him anymore.
No, absolutely not.
Please. We barely want James Harden.
Yeah.
You know what, James Harden?
We barely want James Harden.
No, you know what's my favorite thing? I read an article that said James Harden is torn between Philly and Houston. So I'm like, he's torn from either going to a team that still is competing-ish for a title or go back to the strip clubs in Houston.
Yeah.
It's
Like, I don't
actually a
know.
tougher decision than you think.
It might be. It sounds like it is a tough decision.
So I saw a report too that he might be going to Phoenix as well. Phoenix might.
Oh, you know what? Why don't you just get Kyrie as well, and let's just just screw me over. I don't care. We got Mikal Bridges. I like the guy.
Former Sixer should have been a Sixer.
Yeah.
He's a Philly. He's a Philly guy.
Yeah,
Should have been a Sixer.
Didn't he grow? Isn't he from that area?
he's from that area. His
believe.
mom works for the Sixers. On the night they drafted him, the Sixers.
Does she still works for them, right?
Oh, I don't know. That I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
They were like, his mom was ecstatic. Like they just drafted her son to the team that she works for, the Philadelphia 76ers, hometown team.
Yeah.
Traded him that same day. It was nuts.
Oh, here we go. As Jack Eichel might have a step. He waits, takes a shot, and that one gets blocked. Puck may have come out in front. Now Florida will control it here with 3.5 minutes to go. Sorry to cut you off there.
I was done.
Really
You're good.
point-blank opportunity is, again, 3.5 minutes to go in this third. And, again, we'll keep an eye on Bobrovsky and see when Paul Maurice decides to pull him, as now a lot of Florida Panthers fans are standing up now. I think now everybody got the memo, at least in that left corner. I don't know if you guys see that left side.
Right side is not all into it.
Right side's not standing up at all. Left side, these guys are like standing up. They're having a good time.
Oh, yeah. Looking at the
Those are my kind of fans.
Absolutely. They're having a
It's
blast.
like a bunch of college kids, actually.
What's with the point of banging the glass? I never understood that.
Like, I don't know. Maybe
Banging
to
the
distract
glass.
people.
It doesn't do anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Maybe another penalty. Do we have another penalty here? Wait a second. Why do we get a stop here? We get a stop and play like in the offensive zone for Florida, but I didn't see I didn't see an arm go up.
No.
Also, Barbashev is like on the commercial break was watching a replay of his
Puck
shot.
went out of play. Puck went out of play, it looked like.
Oh, puck went out of play. Right, 2:51 to go in this third period. Again, really curious to know when Paul Maurice feels that it's time to pull Bobrovsky. Also, there's a lot of really pretty Florida Panthers fans. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, back to the hockey. Sorry. Sorry.
The eyeballs. Listen.
I'm sorry. I have a girlfriend too. This is not a good idea. This is not a good idea.
Young man, listen. Like my pops always said. My pops always told me, "Look with your eyes, not your hands. You're allowed to do that."
I'm just looking. And I think Brandon. By the way, Bobrovsky just got pulled with 2:25 to go. Also, Brandon Montour apparently left the game and now is back. As deflection there is stopped by Hill. All the deflection from Bennett. Ekblad with it now. Drive there. Rebound try. And they score! It's Matthew Tkachuk. He gets it on a rebound. And the Panthers tied it.
Did I not say it?
You called it. Not called it.
On the board. Unbelievable.
Right,
And Senior Tkachuk is loving it.
All right, let's see.
There
How
it is,
goes.
off the rebound. See, I told you, absolutely beautiful. Look, they didn't get him diving that time. They didn't get him diving. He didn't stop him diving that time. Beautiful play.
That was
Give
pretty.
Matthew Tkachuk all of the money. Oh, wait a second. Are we looking? Oh, wait. Are they looking at it?
There's no way they're.
They might be looking at it. What is going on? Wait, I got to see this again. So
it did look like it was weird screen on Hill, but I didn't think it was anything egregious.
we'll see here. No, I see nothing. No. That's. Wait. Are they looking at if the puck went in? No, it's in. It hit the
went off the
camera.
middle post. I thought it went.
It hit the camera, right?
Yeah,
Wait, did it hit the
that's what I
post?
thought.
No, it's in. I think it's just like it ricocheted right out.
Yeah, because it bounced off the camera right away. All
Yo,
right,
let me see the camera then. Shimmy the camera angle.
That's clearly a goal. That's clearly a goal.
Well, why are we not seeing the camera angle go, like the camera that's in the net? Like, don't we have that?
You're looking for interference or whatever? No,
They
No.
110%.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like, I think, I'm going to say this. Matthew Tkachuk is the Steph Curry of hockey because only he will chew his mouth guard like 30,000 times. Like a crazy man.
Patrick Kane did the same thing. He does the same
Also,
thing.
there's like a Panthers fan in nothing but a Minions outfit. We're having a good time.
Save that for the regular season.
What's the significance of that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I got nothing.
It's great.
Keith Tkachuk is chugging down a glass of wine. He's having a good time.
Did we ever figure out what they were reviewing?
No, we didn't. We did not. But nonetheless, it is a tie game thanks to Matthew Tkachuk on a rebound. Florida now in the offensive zone as Reinhart lost the puck. Eichel tries to chip it out, and he does. It goes back into the Florida zone. Gudis backhands it out. Minute 48 to go in this third. As we'll see if either team's got a little bit more dramatics here before this period comes to an end. As an icing here against the Golden Knights with exactly 100 seconds to go in this third period. And you know what, Scott? We had our Paul Kariya off the floor on the board moment with Matthew Tkachuk tying this game up at 2.
Yeah, Hockstradamus, they call me sometimes.
Hockstradamus.
I'm telling you.
So here we go.
It's the story. It's what happens. Like, a guy gets knocked out, he comes back. He's going to be the hero. Just it's
as my brother would say, it's the script.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
It's the
Legit.
script.
I just hope
Matthew Tkachuk, by the way, he has a goal and an assist, so he has been involved in both goals to the surprise of no one. As the rally towels, well, they were waving. Why did they stop? What's wrong with? I want to see more rally towels. Come on.
Yeah, they're waving them a little bit there.
I don't want to be critical of Panthers. I don't want to be that guy. As now Verhaeghe intercepts it. Verhaeghe comes in. That one is stopped by Hill. He gets crashed into. Puck throws at the net. Good save by Hill. Panthers still with the puck. And now Vegas gets to it with 50 seconds to go. Intercepted by Florida. Lundell had it for a moment, taken away by Riley Smith. Then it's taken away again for a moment by Florida. They go back to get it as now Hill gets back to retrieve his stick. Ekblad with a long feed over now, and it's dumped into the corner with 33 seconds to go in the third period. Lundell now with it. And that puck bounces up in the air. Lundell tried to get to it. Carlson will throw it all the way back down, and it'll be enough. I think. No, it won't be an icing. Ref waved it off. Puck comes back out to center ice. 15 seconds to go. Chandler Stevenson now gets around. He gets tripped up, and that's going to be a penalty. Oh, my.
Oh.
Chandler Stevenson draws a tripping call, and I believe it's Gustav Forsling that might be going to the box. And Paul Maurice is pissed.
I believe it. At what? Let's see the call here.
Oh, my goodness. It is a 2-minute tripping call with 11.2 to go in the third. And now, are we going to get this type of dramatics here? Are we getting this?
Are we
getting buzzer beater?
One goal. The second. Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, you have to play better defense than that.
Did they call him Barkov or Forsling?
It looked like Barkov had tripped him.
That would be Barkov's second penalty of the game, which, by the way, the penalty he took resulted in a power play goal. So,
there's no trip. He dove. He tripped himself.
Did they? Yeah, no, I think can they challenge it? Wait, they can challenge this, right?
No, you can't challenge a penalty.
Oh, that's bad.
That's a terrible call.
Because he doesn't get tripped. He just tried to dive out of the way. Look, he tries to dive out of the. Yeah. Oh, he leaned into it.
Terrible call. That is a terrible.
I don't even think he's trying to sell the trip. I think he's just trying to dodge him so he can get to the puck and make a move.
Let's look at the contact near the feet.
So Forsling is
tripped over his own foot. He tripped over his own foot.
Dude, all these Panthers fans are pissed or stunned right now.
Oh, because his skate clipped the front of his other skate.
Nah, it's
It looked like
ticky-tacky.
that's what I'm saying.
God, it's ticky-tacky, man.
They
Oh,
bump
yeah,
skates.
I
They
see.
bump
Also,
skates.
how do you call it there? Like, with this time remaining, how do
You
you
have
call
to
it?
swallow the whistle at this point in the game.
Oh my
Unless
God,
it's
that
completely
Here we
is
go.
egregious.
awful.
11 seconds to go.
awful call.
Face off won by Vegas. Theodore with the puck. Over to Eichel. Eichel throws it. Backhand try. Followed by Morowski. Feet in front there is blocked. And that will do it as the horn sounds. And ladies and gentlemen, game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals is going to overtime, which means we're probably going to be here for another 2 hours.
Probably.
I
Yeah,
didn't
at
plan
least.
on this. I'm gonna have to go get a pot of coffee.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
might have to. And Paul Maurice is still jawing at the ref, even though the
Good.
period is now over.
Should be. He should
No,
be.
I'm totally on Paul Maurice's side on this. That is, you
Yeah,
cannot.
that was a
call
bad
that.
call.
You
Yeah, it was
cannot
terrible.
call that, let alone in the Stanley Cup Final. You can't call that in a pivotal game 3 with less than 20 seconds to go in the game. Tie game, nonetheless. You can't call
Oh,
it. Swallow the
jeez.
whistle.
Look
So,
at the way
guys-
Florida dominated that period. Florida dominated there towards the end of that period. Like they just about even the shots in goal. They just about dominated that. So that was an awful call.
That was
That
bad.
puts Florida in a bad
So
spot,
bad.
considering how bad their penalty kill's been.
I would hate for the
Brutal.
game to end because of that penalty.
Right, exactly.
So and Vegas will have about a minute 49 of the first overtime on the power play. So it'll be a big kill. But I'm not going to ask you guys now. We'll go to commercial break. We'll get ready for our third period intermission report and get us ready for this first overtime. So we will be right back. Okay, these two gentlemen are not here yet, but welcome everybody here to our third period intermission report of our game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And the reason it is a third period intermission is because thanks to Matthew Tkachuk, we are going to overtime. He tied it up with just about 2 minutes to go after the Florida Panthers pulled Sergei Bobrovsky. And then with 11 seconds to go in the period, Chandler Stevenson took a little bit of a dive and drew a tripping penalty, which now Vegas has a power play for the first minute 49 of of the first overtime. So this is going to be interesting. We'll see how long it takes. And guys, while you're here, make sure to leave your predictions for overtime. Who's going to win and what player is going to get the game-winning goal? And we'll talk about all of that. Scott, man, how did we get here?
I called it. And look, I honestly, like, the script, however you want to say it, you just knew that this team was going to come back. Florida has not shown us any otherwise that they haven't been able to come back. So I don't know if this is going to be another one we're going to be here all night, or if this is going to be one where, you know, it's over like Zika Thor says in 30 seconds. You never know.
Yeah.
I think that this is an opportunity for a player like Ryan Lundberg or Carter Verhaeghe, maybe Anthony Duclair, and maybe Brandon Montour. One of those guys are going to find it back in the net. I mean, hey, or maybe it's Tkachuk again. He's been the overtime king so far. So, I think Florida finds a way to close this one out. I think they have to. I think they will.
They need to. They really do. They really do need to get back in this series. Andrew's going to go with Marchessault to get the game winner for Vegas. So that's that's where we're going with that. I am curious to know what you got. I think what we should do is we should pick one guy for each team who we think is going to score the game winner on overtime. And we'll start with Bill. Why don't you go first, man?
Oh, I will go with, I'm going to go kind of chalk, Barkov or Stone. I'm going to go pretty chalk on that.
Okay.
I think Tkachuk got the game. Tkachuk got the game winner. Now it's Barkov's time to step up and get a goal here.
All right, Scott.
I'm going to go Barbashev and Brandon Montour.
Okay, so you're hoping that the new dad gets himself his second goal of the night.
Yeah.
He had the first goal, if you could believe it, like 3 hours ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like 3 hours ago, he scored the first goal. First goal. So for me, I'm going to give you guys a wild card for Florida. I'm going to go with Anton Lundell to get the game win. It feels like one of those nights. It's going to be somebody you don't know about. It doesn't make sense, but he gets he taps one in through like traffic in front of the net and stuff like that. I see a dog.
Yeah, that's Mowgli the Lab.
I see a dog, yeah.
Yeah, Mowgli the Lab, the unofficial mascot of the Orange and Backcheck podcast.
Gotta love it.
Definitely unofficial.
For Vegas, I'm gonna go with Jack Eichel for Vegas. I'm gonna go with Jack Eichel. I feel like he's
Eichel. I almost said Eichel. I really did. I almost said Eichel, but I just feel like that Eichel's going to set somebody up. Like I think it's going to be someone like Barbashev, and just they're going to hone in on Eichel. They're going to hone in on Marchessault, and I think someone like Barbashev could be the sneaky player to end this thing if it goes Vegas' way. I really hope that Florida gets an opportunity. If they kill this power play off early, then I think that really they're going to take the momentum and just go with it, because you know why? They've dominated in overtimes. They've found ways to win. The team refuses to lose when it's a 1-goal difference and the game is on the line. And until they prove differently, Vegas has got to be hungrier. And I just don't know. I think this is Florida's game to lose. And it really, and the way they responded late in that third period and it just got a dirty goal in Nathan Hill, it's going to have to happen the same way again. It's going to have to happen that way.
I agree. And I think for the TNT crew, I think they're hoping Florida wins so they can have another reason to go back to Vegas.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Besides for the parade if they win it.
It's true.
Andrew says Barkov for Florida. Boy, Sasha's not really done anything so far this season.
I know.
That's what makes it. That's what makes it.
Exactly.
He might just come out of nowhere and get the game winner.
I learned
that play messed up in the first period.
I learned trying to play the Bucci overtime challenge on Twitter. You don't go for the chalk guy, or you don't go for the guy that's been a big name, and you don't choose Tkachuk tonight because he just got the tying goal. He's not going to get the game-winning goal in this scenario.
Yeah,
more than likely now, because I'm speaking it into existence, it's going to happen. So we'll see.
Right.
Maybe nice. It'll be nice.
By the way,
By the way, I was not kidding about my coffee.
I found this. You guys got this is hilarious.
No.
Is that a White
This
Castle?
is a White
Way.
Castle Tangerine IPA.
Oh my God.
So
Dude, I love White Castle, but when I drink beer, it does the same thing to me as White Castle does when I eat that, if you catch my drift. So I have to stay away from that. Unfortunately, I am downing a polar seltzer tonight.
Nice.
Being a big medium, and on the other hand,
Right.
I got a
you guys, this is the
Coke
first
beer.
time I've ever had this. So now you guys are gonna see me
Real time
try this.
reaction. Here we go.
It's very light.
Okay.
It's very light. And it's very it's definitely tangerine. It's good. I like it.
There you go. Nice. White Castle beer.
White Castle, why? Why is this a thing? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Seriously, why is this a thing? Now, you know what? Because I like to collect cool beer cans. I'm a kind of guy like that. I tried the what's it called? The Hazy,
Hazy
from
IPA?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I still have that can. It was actually pretty good. I actually liked it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
One of the best.
Is that Brawlers?
Yeah, I think it was Brawlers. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best beers I ever had was the Southern Tier Pumpkin Ale. Legit tastes like liquid pumpkin pie. There's no
Wow.
You gotta send me a link to this. Wait. What is it called?
It's called Southern Tier.
Southern Tier. I'm just keeping this tab up for later.
Pumpkin, like king, like king, like king.
Pumpkin whiskey.
Like king, like pumpkin ale.
Yeah, pumpkin ale. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
Now
they have nitro. Wait, why do they have nitro? That's weird.
Well, that's the thing. It was served in a nitro glass, like it was out of a nitro thing. It was out of draft when I had it. It literally tasted like a liquid pumpkin pie. I've never had anything close to it.
What's going on, Rainiel Soda? Good to see you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody who's still with us here. We do apologize that we're not dressed as well as Henrik Lundqvist tonight, but we do appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
Hey man, I'm wearing a Bauer t-shirt. All right, I'm classing it up like Hank is right here.
He's classing it up. Nice. Danelle says, "Who do we have winning in overtime? Golden Knights or Panthers?" So again, for me, for the Panthers, I have Anton Lundell, and for Vegas, I have Jack Eichel. Bill and Scott, if you want to just repeat it real quick
I'm going with Barkov for the Florida Panthers and Mark Stone for Vegas.
I'm going with Anton Barbashev with Vegas, and I'm going with what the hell's his name? Brandon Montour for Florida.
All right, there we go. So I'm looking at, because I like to give shout outs to people who have the score prediction right. I'll tell you this right now. I won't tell you who it is, but somebody's going to be correct in terms of the score.
Okay.
And depending on who wins, they might be right about the team as well. They didn't predict overtime, but they do have the score correct. So shout out to them. Wow. You'll be surprised who it is too. You'll be surprised.
By the way, I need Florida to win my bet. I already got the under because over under was 6 goals. Got the under.
Right.
So
yeah, Bill made a bet on DraftKings Sportsbook, again, the official sports betting partner of THPN. And when you sign up for DraftKings, make sure to use our promo code, which you can see right here in the bottom right corner, THPN. And also the live odds right now, which team will win Game 3? Vegas minus 155. Florida is at plus 125. And if you make a $100 bet, it pays out to $225.
By the way, I don't think any of us have the stats up, but I just saw this. If you had to guess, how many penalties have been called tonight between both teams? Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
I'm not looking. Sorry.
I'm going to say 12.
I'm going to say 13.
15 minor
penalties. Oh, wow. You're off.
That's 30 minutes of penalties. That's half the game.
That's literally half the game. Yeah, exactly. It's literally half the game.
Literally half the game has been on the power play. That's wild to me.
And it's only 2-2. That's even crazier.
15.
What's going on, Hockey from Home? Good to see you, man. Honestly, Hockey from Home, you're not late. You're right on time.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Now you get the action.
Nothing better.
You are right on time. This is going to be fun. I just hope it's not like Scott said. I hope it's not 4 overtimes.
Oh God!
I think this is going to be quick. I think Vegas scores within the power play time, and if they don't score, Florida is going to capitalize and get the momentum and score. I think this is going to be a quick 5 minutes or less.
Scott, did you really just drop it? That's what she said.
I totally did, and he missed it.
But did you?
I totally did, dude. Yeah. But I do this stuff on our pod all the time. He'll just say something, I'll just throw it out there, and he'll miss it.
Yeah, let's do. What's the over under? What's our over under on how long this thing goes?
Okay,
I'm saying less than 5 minutes. I think this is gonna be quick.
I think this is gonna be. I'm gonna give you a crazy one. I'm gonna say it's gonna be with like a minute or two to go in the first overtime.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's going to be a lull, too. Like, we're going to get lulled into sleep, and then all of a sudden it's just going to end and be like, oh, all right, it's over.
I'm going to go with 8 minutes and 32 seconds left in overtime.
What are you, Hoxtradamus? Oh, wait, that's what you're calling yourself.
I'm telling you, got one right already off the floor on the board, you know.
There you go. There you go.
He's waited
by the way,
19 years. He's just,
Zeke Thor 95 on Twitch, because we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch right now. He says Vegas will sweep, so he clearly is going with Vegas to still get this win tonight. Would that
be the first sweep in the 2000s? We talked about how there were 4 sweets in the 90s.
In the 2000s?
I don't think there's been a sweep.
No, I don't
think there's been a sweep. I think it's the first one.
Since Washington, since Detroit and Washington.
98, right?
So, again, also just want to let you guys know, Panthers 6-0 in these playoffs in overtime. Vegas 3-1.
Ooh.
So keep that in mind. But here we go. As now the first overtime is underway again. Vegas is starting on the power play as Chandler Stevenson tries to weave his way through, but it's intercepted by Florida and they clear. Again, money line right now, or puck line from DraftKings, -40 for Vegas and +111 for Florida. So that is the current live odds from DraftKings Sportsbook. As Eichel now tries to get the puck. He's still fighting along here into the left corner. Minute 17 to go on the power play. Theodore overshot there, and that one goes wide by Marchessault. Now Eichel with the puck. Eichel gets it top of the point to Shea Theodore. Theodore wrist shot gets blocked. Eichel regains it, waits, gets it to Theodore. He holds it. Eichel now in the left faceoff dot. Looking, still with it now. He still has it. Now on the left side, he's being boarded by one of the Florida players. As now gets over to Stevenson, throws it over, and that one gets blocked. And now here comes Florida. Might be a 2-on-1. Barkov over to Reinhart, just out of his reach. Now to the right corner as Vegas will control. 40 seconds to go on the Golden Knight power play. As now Theodore drops it off to Stone. Back to Shea Theodore. Left side over to Stone. He gets the puck taken off him, but Vegas keeps it in. Now Carlson over to Eichel. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Eichel, drive from Theodore, gets blocked into the right corner, and then Florida gets to it and clears.
I forgot about Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, that's I thought the exact same thing when I heard his name.
Yeah, I heard his name. I was like, my God, Sam Reinhart, I heard him all game.
He's had a very quiet evening, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know what? Might be that dark horse. I can't change it now.
Might be
that dark horse.
Power play is up for Vegas, so Florida with a big kill early on in this first overtime. And now we'll see how things go as Montour chips it over to Tkachuk. He's the reason that we got to this overtime here, as now a stick goes flying from somebody. Puck is behind Bobrovsky's net. Gudas retrieves it for Florida, and he'll settle it. Gudas makes a long feed over to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe tries to make a pass intercepted by Carlson. He'll chip it back into the zone where Florida will control. Gudas, long feed over there. Verhaeghe can't stay on sides. Montour will just dump it into the Vegas zone as both teams make a change. So early on here, kind of maybe a little bit of chess, trying to see what both teams, who's going to make that first major move.
Yeah, for Florida, you're just trying to kill off that last minute 50, minute 49 of that penalty, and then you're just trying to like you said, set the board, figure out where you're at.
Right.
But at some point, they're going to have to push. Like you can't just sit back and try and set it up. You got to go.
And I bet you the refs put away their whistles at this point.
Oh, they better.
I hope they do. I hope.
You have to let them play 5-on-5 here in overtime unless it's completely egregious.
We gotta have the flow in overtime.
There's the word.
The overtime flow.
Yep.
As now Vegas comes into the zone. Barbashev drops to Eichel with a shot, and that one goes wide of Bobrovsky. Now Florida controls it, and we get a whistle here. I believe it might have gone out of play, actually. So 16:49 to go in this first overtime. Again, if Vegas scores, they go up 3-0 with a chance to sweep on Saturday night. If the Panthers win, there will be at least a game 5, and they'll have an opportunity on Saturday to try to even up the series. And this is an opportunity to etch your name in Stanley Cup Finals history if you can get that next goal for your team.
Kind of feels like Game 3 against the Flyers and the Blackhawks in 2010, and like a back and forth game. Flyers tie it late, and then they go and win it overtime, get back in the series, and then dominate in Game 4. I just don't know why I get the same kind of vibe in this series here right now. Florida, get back to 5-on-5, establish your game, play, stick with it, get shots on net, and just get a dirty goal. That's what you need.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the stats here, guys, which we have up here. I think it's fair to say that a lot of the stats are pretty even, except the block shots are 31-15 in favor of Florida.
Yeah, they're not letting a lot of shots go through.
It feels like Vegas has a lot more than 15.
I mean, so I don't think that Florida's gotten clean shots like on net to be able to be blocked. I think they've got, as far as shots that have been blocked, this is defensive strategy that they're playing is really trying to make sure that they don't give Vegas that opportunity to get clean shots on net. So I could, Vegas has thrown a lot at the net, but I think Florida's done very good defensively.
And we've only had a total of 48 shots on goal, 26 for Vegas, 22 for Florida. So it's been a lot more tight checking, solid goaltending from both teams. Like, this is more of a game that I think we expected in the first 2 games of the series.
I think it's similar to what we saw in Game 1. Yeah, Vegas ran away with it a little later on, but it's similar. Game 2 is just more of a write-off. I think this one here is the type of hockey. This is the type of hockey that Florida wants to play. And not taking anything away from Vegas. Is that Vegas can win these tight checking games, but this is suited for Florida. Just wear you down, get an opportunity, put the puck in the net, and then go to the bus.
So now faceoff will be to the left of Adin Hill in the Vegas zone. As faceoff looked like it was won by Florida, but they lose it. And now Vegas tries to get it out. So they'll chip it up the boards, gets it over now to Colasar. He tries to weave his way through defenders, still with the puck. Good job by Colasar. Gets it over. Backhand try by Carrier. He actually tried to hit somebody on Florida. Lost the puck altogether. Vegas still with it. Carrier now. He gets it top of the point. Drive there, gets blocked in front, and goes all the way back down into the Vegas zone.
There's block shots there.
Zeke says that short-handed goal in Game 1 that Eric Stahl scored to start the series, you thought Florida was going to take it, and ultimately that was not the case.
Yeah, what changed the momentum in that game was that Adin Hill.
The shot there by the Panthers, and they score! And I believe it might be for Hagee in front as he gets it past Adin Hill, and the Panthers are back in the series. They win it in overtime.
Wow.
I told you 5 minutes or less.
Wow.
Hard for Hagee, though. They win it in overtime.
High glove.
What a shot!
From the top of right from inside the blue line. What a shot.
That was a beautiful shot. I just think, and now the Rats are coming down in Sunrise.
Oh, shit. I thought you said the refs are, I thought you were about to say the refs are going to review it.
No, that would be worse.
That would be awful.
Carter Verhaeghe, 4th career overtime goal, his 2nd of these playoffs. Remember, he had that game winner in Game 7 against the Bruins in the first round, and we'll see it here again on the replay. Again, they're lulling us to sleep, and then that happens. They take a shot, and oh my God, shout out to Matthew Tkachuk with a great screen in front. Adin Hill just can't see it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't see it. You can't stop it. And listen, that's what you needed. Listen, this is something here. This type of goal is something that Florida desperately needed. Because, look, Adin Hill, he kind of sees that. Look, it is a screen, but he snaps it high. He picks it up. Hill just whiffed on it. Hill saw it. He just whiffed on it. And I tell you what, even though he jumped in front of him, he knew it was going glove. He whiffed on it. And that's the type of goal that can really hurt a goaltender's confidence.
I wonder if Hill was anticipating a deflection.
I don't know.
I don't know what he was. I think he was just. I think he was surprised that, like, I just think he couldn't see it, honestly. That's the way I look at it.
Mhm.
So it looked like the way he reacted to it, because watch his head as the puck's coming in. He had his glove low here. I don't think he knew the puck was going that high, but he had a clean look at it. But again, it's the tracking. The puck travels upward. It looked like he just misread it. He wasn't in bad positioning. That's a bad goal. That's a bad goal to give up. That really is a bad goal to give up. Boy,
That was
that's why I'm not a huge fan of Aiden Hill, because I have seen that out of when he played.
right. That's one of those where you're saying, "Oh, geez, should he have had it?" You know,
right?
But look, it's a goal nonetheless, and also the Florida Panthers with their first ever Stanley Cup Finals win, and it's a thrilling one as they win it in overtime, 3-2. And guys, our boss called it.
Oh,
3-2 Panthers.
Job,
He didn't say overtime, but Dylan was still right in the score. Well done, boss. Oh, wait, no. He just jumped back in. Look at this. He just jumped back in. Way to go, Dylan.
Hold it, yep.
Way to go.
Nice job.
Round of applause for Dylan. It doesn't happen often where somebody gets it exactly right, and I give him credit for it.
Right.
well,
Right.
Did he get it exactly right? He didn't clarify. Called 3-2.
He only said
Overtime.
3-2 Panthers. He didn't say overtime.
He didn't say OT.
Let's not
But
get
I'll give it to him.
specificity
Yeah.
here, Bill, all right, come on. Don't
What
be
what
a
does
jerk.
what does he win?
Dylan says, "What do I win?
You
The satisfaction of being right."
yeah.
No, he wins. He wins a shout out on the Hockey Podcast Network.
That's right.
You mean the network that he is in charge of?
Correct. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Still satisfactory.
Exactly. 100%.
Dylan, let's boost. Dylan, we're gonna boost your ego for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. What a game, guys! That was fun.
So
Well,
what
that
was
was-
game
that wasn't
four?
really.
Thank goodness, because game 2 was tough to get through in the third period because it was already like over, and I'm like, I'm just glad that like it ended, like this game ended, and I'm glad it's not going to be a sweep. At least that makes me feel better.
Yeah, 100%.
And by the
100%.
way, guys, RJ, it's game 4. Game 4 again will be Saturday night, 8 p.m. Let me double check to see who's doing that game. I just want you guys to know.
It's TNT.
No.
Who is it?
For us,
No, I'm talking about a live watch on. I'm just curious to know
Yeah.
who's got the game, who's got the call for that one. Is it Kyle? I hope it's Kyle.
I thought I saw
I hope it's
Kyle's
you.
name on
I hope it's you guys. I hope it's you guys. Maybe you guys do it. I'm still looking here.
It's all good.
Stand by. Please don't judge me. I'm getting there. Oh, that was from last. Oh, that's the schedule from last year. My bad. Dylan, I'm screwing up. Dylan, do you know who it is? I feel. Please don't fire me after this. Please don't fire me. I'm doing my best. There's so many things. Oh, here we go. All right. Scroll down. Oh my goodness, that was too quick. All right. It is. Oh, it's Lance from the Brew Jackets podcast. He will be on the call for Saturday night's game. He did game 1. And of course, I get told as I found it. Thank you, Dylan. But yeah, no, Lance from the Brew Jackets podcast will be on the call. He was on the call for game 1. He'll be on the call for game number 4. And I will be back for game 5 next week. Kyle, my boy Kyle and I will be on the call for that one. And if anybody else wants to join, including you guys, obviously, you guys are more than welcome to jump on, and we could hear more stories from Scott.
Yeah, about getting flipped off by Sean Avery.
Listen, I take that as a badge of honor. I'm not.
I would
lie.
too. Honestly, I would too.
That is a story that I love telling because it's true. I think it's even better. I told Glenn Sader to piss off, like he told the kid to piss off one time. I tried to find that video, but he legit told a kid to piss off when he asked for his thing. You don't do that.
That is wild.
It's not the same thing, but when I was in college, I went to Penn State, and my freshman year, we were walking over to Beaver Stadium. Joe Paterno was still the coach. He almost hit us with his. He almost hit us with his Mercedes. 85-year-old driving around his Mercedes S-Class, and then he tried to park the car and say my mic arm is the distance between the one parking spot, and his car squeezed in and was almost hitting the other car. He was like struggling to get out. He's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And we're like, "Do you need help? You shouldn't be driving."
Old man.
Yeah, it was.
By the way, Scott, you're getting some love. Says love your background, Scott.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's
What's
very,
up?
very kind of you.
Wow.
Hockey from home.
You know what? The only thing that sucks about the game being over is that we can't chat anymore because I've had so much fun for the last 3.5 hours with you guys. This is the first, and guys, just so you know, this is the first time I've ever met like these guys and talking to them as well. They're all obviously phenomenal. Like this was so much fun. I had a blast. And we love doing these, guys. We love doing this for you. You guys are the big reason. We thank you for everybody for liking, subscribing, interacting with us. And yeah, man, thank you guys. What a game. But before we sign up for the night, we roll out the red carpet so we can shout each other's stuff out and let the folks know where they can find us. So Scott and Bill, the floor is yours, my friends.
Yeah, check us out. Orange and Backcheck podcast. We focus on the Flyers, obviously, touching on the NHL. We just had our latest episode 152, release on Monday, right before the Provorov trade and all the rumors that have now been circulating. So we'll need to do an update on that. But that's where you can find us. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to us, orangeandbackcheck@gmail.com if you want to join us. And we're on Twitter, right on Scott's and my name tag @OBackcheck. So follow us on there. We're constantly updating. So love to hear from you. Have a good night.
Yeah, and if you like a lot of dad jokes too, I tell a lot of them really bad jokes. Yeah, it's always what.
It's very
true. Keep your coffee down, Bill. All right, that's true. I got
very true.
I tell a lot of bad jokes.
I don't know why I'm still drinking this. I want to go to bed now.
And that's why I don't know what the hell you're doing it for anyway.
That's why you drink this so that you can get tired.
Yeah, drink White Castle beer.
Drink White Castle beer. It's so weird that I still can't believe that this is a thing.
Dude, I can only think of,
and it even says it hits different.
Yeah, it sounds like a sponsor that should join the Hockey Podcast Network. If you ask me,
I'm looking. I think it might be I think the brewing company is called Evil Genius, and I think they just did a sponsorship with White Castle.
Yeah, Evil Genius is a nice bar or brewing company. They're good.
Where's that located? Anybody know?
I want to say New York, but I might be wrong.
Philly.
Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is.
Oh, no. It says brewed and canned by Evil Genius Beer in Pittstown, PA.
Okay.
I have no idea where that is.
Pittstown or Pittston?
Pittston, sorry.
Pittston. That's where my family, my parents live up there. My mom and my grandparents live up there, yeah.
Danelle, again, our good buddy Lance from the Brew Jackets podcast will be on the call, just him, for game number 4 on Saturday. But yeah, also you guys can check out the Devil's State of Mind podcast. We have new episodes come out every Monday and Thursday, talking all things New Jersey Devils. We just had an episode come out earlier today, talking a little bit about the interesting moves by the Columbus Blue Jackets over the last couple of days with my good buddy Jake Geringer, who covers the Blue Jackets here on THPN. And we will definitely have both of these lovely gentlemen on the Devil's State of Mind podcast down the road, especially when we get closer to that outdoor game and some other awesome Metropolitan Division content that we'll have for all of you guys. Andrew also says, by the way, that Pittston is close to Scranton. Is that correct?
Yep, it's right outside of it. Yep, I have family out there. Yep.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I've gone to Steamtown a couple of times. I think that's near. Is that near Scranton? No, that is right.
What's that?
Steamtown. It's like it's
Steamtown Mall. Yeah,
that's Steamtown Mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I was thinking of the railroad, but yes, the mall too.
Yeah, that's all. It's all at that. They have the museum inside the mall down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew's giving you guys a shout out, by the way.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Also, thank you for checking out the podcast on Spotify, Hockey From Home. If you could do also, by the way, would love it if you could give me a 5-star rating as well. Really does help out the podcast. Also, go subscribe to these two guys also in their podcast to give them a 5-star rating. Every bit helps out the channel tremendously. Also, Scott, you're getting some love here tonight.
Props here, man. Yeah.
Love.
Man, I don't even get that from my wife. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, but yeah, again, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Absolutely a lot of fun, and we will see you in the next live watch along. Once again, the Florida Panthers are back in the series as they win Game 3 tonight in overtime, thanks to a Carter Verhaeghe goal. They win it 3-2 and are now trailing in the series 2-1. Everyone continue to be the awesome people that you are. And as we always say at the end of every live watch along, make sure to rock on.